Chapter 281 Go to War On. Although Dong Shenyao and the others were not at the scene at the time, but just listening to Miyamura Harmony's retelling, they could also imagine the tragic situation of that battle. Thinking of how a quasi-shadow would sacrifice his own life in order to cover the evacuation of his companions, Silver Tiger and the others showed sadness one by one. They know that even in the face of the Jinchuriki column force, a quasi-cage can run if he wants to run. After all, it is only the Jinchuriki column force of the one-tailed person, not the Jinchuriki of the Yahweh and Kyubi, 9 tails column strength. The strength is comparable to ordinary cage level at most. But that Zunying did not run away, but stood up bravely, and this spirit moved Silver Tiger and others. Although Dong Shenyao couldn't do this, it couldn't stop him from admiring this Quenying. Harmony, how is the situation now? Silver Tiger asked after listening to Miyamura Harmony's remarks. It's very bad. Since we found out that Sunagakur village has used the force of Jinchuriki column, we have to shrink our defense line and passively resist the attack of Sunagakur village. Now we have retreated to the territory of the country of fire, and now we can no longer retreat. Once the Sunagakur village invades the territory of the country of fire, the consequences will be unimaginable. Miyamura Harmony said solemnly. Don't worry about Harmony, now that we are here, we will definitely be able to block Sunagakur village this time. Silver Tiger said confidently. Hey, I'm afraid that Sunagakur village still has some trump cards. You know, the second generation cage of Sunagakur village hasn't played yet. Second generation cage, I'm afraid he doesn't dare to shoot. They have cage and we have Hokage. If cage dares to shoot, Lord Tobarama will teach him to be a man. Silver said proudly. He does not mean that. Miyamura Harmony and the others were relieved because of Silver Tiger's words, but Tashinyao's heart lifted. He knew that the reason why Kage and Tsuchikage didn't shoot now was because he was afraid of Senju Tobarama. You must know that Senju Tobarama's strength is far more than the average cage level master, and after so many years of not shooting, no one knows how strong Senju Tobarama is. At the beginning, Senju Tobarama had a record of killing cage level masters. Once Kage and Tsuchikage shoot, then Senju Tobarama, who is Hokage, will not stand idly by, and Kage and Tsuchikage will not have the confidence to block Senju Tobarama. But Dong Shenyao knew that it would not be long before Senju Tobarama would fall. Without Senju Tobarama's suppression, Kage and Tsuchikage would never be as honest as they are now. It's a little troublesome. In the original book, the second generation Tsuchikage died together with the second generation Mizukage, but I don't know when and why. Dong Shenyao thought to himself. Although he was a little worried in his heart, Dong Shenyao couldn't say these things, he could only keep it in his heart. Because Dong Shenyao and the others traveled all day, Miyamura Harmony was very considerate and prepared a sumptuous dinner for Dong Shenyao and the others. Dong Shenyao, I didn't expect us to meet again so soon. During the banquet, Miyamura Harmony took the initiative to say to Dong Shenyao. Yeah, I just wonder if Shimura-senpai is okay. Tashinyao, you don't know. Not long ago, Lord Tobarama called Danzo back to the village, as if he had some task for him to do. Miyamura explained harmoniously. Hearing this, Dong Shenyao's heart moved. Senju Tobarama is going to take Shimura Danzo and the others to negotiate with Reikage. Thinking of what happened in the original book, Tashinyao quickly had a guess. After a meal, the guests and the host enjoyed themselves. After they were full, Miyamura Harmony arranged accommodation for the 4 of them. In the blink of an eye, the night passed, and after a night of rest, Dong Shenyao and others also washed away their fatigue. Just a few people got up and got the news that Sunagakur village started to attack. Soon the 4 of them came to the council hall together, and when they entered, they found that the high-level people in the camp were all there. But this was not the front line of Luo Zhiguo, so I basically didn't see these people, Dong Shenyao, at most before. Photos only. You came just in time. I just got the news that the ninjas from Sunagakur village have appeared, and now they are less than 20 miles away. Then what are you waiting for? Go out and fuck him. Nagai Ichiro, who was a little hot-tempered, roared directly. Hearing the words, Miyamura Harmony's eyes showed embarrassment. Nagai-kun, you don't know, it would be extremely unfavorable for us to fight directly with Sunagakure village. At that time, once the force of the human Jinchuriki column erupts, it will easily spread to other people. It turned out to be like this. Dong Shenyao and several others frowned. Before, they only thought about the strength of the human Jinchuriki column force, but they forgot that the most powerful part of the human Jinchuriki column force was their map cannon ability. Then can we only defend? Nagai Ichiro asked unwillingly. It can only be like this for the time being, unless we can repel or kill the Jinchuriki column force, but it is very difficult. That person's Jinchuriki column force has reached cage level, it is very difficult to kill him. Human Jinchuriki column strength is terrible, and the cage level human Jinchuriki column strength is even more terrible. Commander Miyamura, I don't know if the Jinchuriki column force from Sunagakure village can completely control the tailed beast in his body. Tashinyao suddenly spoke. Although I don't know why Tashinyao asked this, Miyamura Harmony still answered. No, except for the Jinchuriki column force of the Kyubi, Nine-Tails people in our village, there is no villager's Jinchuriki column force that can completely control the tailed beast in the body. Speaking of this, Miyamura Harmony was a little proud. By the way, there is also Kyubi, Nine-Tails. At this time, Dong Shenyao realized that Konoha village still has a whole card, and that is Kyubi, Nine-Tails. Now Kyubi, Nine-Tails, Jinchuriki column forces Senju Hashirama's wife Uzumaki Mito. Count the age, although Uzumaki Mito should be in his 40s now, but with the majestic vitality of the Uzumaki family, now still at its peak. Dong Shenyao knew that he wasn't thinking about these things now, so he kept this information in his heart for the time being, and then continued, Commander Miyamura, since the Jinchuriki column force of Sunagakure village cannot completely control the tailed beast in his body, then he is breaking out. Does Sunagakure village also retreat when the tailed beast is out? Hearing Dong Shenyao's words, although Miyamura Harmony flashed an aura in his mind, he seemed to understand something, but when he thought about it carefully, he couldn't think of anything, and finally he could only answer, yes, every battle before. When the leader erupted once, the ordinary ninjas of Sunagakure village would retreat, leaving only the strong ones to hold back the masters of my Konoha village. Quote. This is easy to handle. Commander Miyamura, we can actually take advantage of this. Tashinyao said happily. Chapter 282 Go to War below. At this time, Dong Shenyao and the others were in a fortress located on the border of the Land of Fire. Like the northern fortress that Dong Shenyao had visited before, it was also built by Senju Hashirama, which was specially used to resist the attack of the Land of Wind. The entire fortress is a huge city with a wide city wall. At the beginning, people from the Uzumaki family were specially invited to set up a ceiling formation on the city wall, which made the city wall have a strong defensive power, and ordinary B-level ninjutsu cannot be destroyed. The city walls are not at all. A few years ago, when Senju Hashirama just fell, Sunagakure village once raided the country of fire. At that time, it was with this fortress that the Konoha village ninjas were able to block the attack of Sunagakure village when they were at a disadvantage, and finally persisted to the reinforcements' arrival. After many years, the battle once again invaded the fortress. On the city wall, a large number of ninjas were waiting, and in the center of the city wall, a group of strong men such as Miyamura Harmony stood here, looking at the dark shadow in the distance. At this time, the ninjas of Sunagakure village were only a few miles away from the fortress. With the vision of Miyamura Harmony and others, they could vaguely see a dark shadow approaching. Standing beside Miyamura Harmony, Dong Shenyao was filled with emotion. Thinking back when he first went to the battlefield of Luozhiguo, he was still only a small captain-level figure, but at this time, in only 8 or 9 months, he had already become a high-level frontline, with a status comparable to the commander of 383, and because of his brilliant record, at this time in this fortress, Dong Shenyao is definitely ranked in the top 5 in terms of status. In addition to Miyamura Harmony and cage-level masters such as Silver Tiger, even those old-fashioned quasi-shadows are not as good as Dong Shenyao in terms of status. No way, although Dong Shenyao has been famous for a short time, his record is dazzling, and there are already 2 of them who died in his hands. Gongwei may not be anything, just an ordinary one. But Silver Tai is different. This is an old-fashioned quasi-shadow. Among all the quasi-shadows, he also stands at the top. However, it is such a powerful quasi-shadow who was killed by Dong Shenyao. This is in a world where the strong are respected. Dong Shenyao's status has been greatly improved. Even those Zunying who are older than Dong Shenyao's father would not dare to despise him because of his age. Strength determines status. Everything is as simple as that. At this time, there were quite a few quasi-shadows standing on the city wall, but there were very few who could stand beside Miyamura Harmony, among them the figure of Dong Shenyao. After more than 10 minutes, Sunagakur's figure finally appeared in everyone's sight. At a glance, thousands of ninjas gathered outside the city. In addition to Sunagakur, there were also some ninjas from the Soup Ninja village. Kaden, fire style, troops ready. The 2 sides have dealt with each other many times, so there is no need for nonsense, and Miyamura Harmony directly issued the order. Immediately, hundreds of ninjas from Kaden, fire style, troops stepped forward, folded their hands one by one, and prepared for the hand seal. Attack! As soon as Miyamura Kazuo's voice fell, hundreds of ninjas began to hand seal at the same time. Kaden, fire style, great fireball jutsu. Kaden, fire style, dragon fire bullet. Kaden, fire style, phoenix sage fire technique. Kinds of Kaden fire style ninjutsu were released, and flames poured down immediately, heading straight for Sunagakur in the distance. Faced with the attack of the Konoha ninjas, Sunagakur did not sit still. Just when the flames were about to attack them, a wall of earth rose to block the flames. Immediately after Miyamura Harmony continued to give the Kaden, fire style, unit a break, the ninjas of the Raiden thunder style unit and the Futon, wind style unit continued to attack. Soon after 3 rounds of attacks, the Sunagakers were obscured by thick plumes of smoke, making it impossible for most to see their movements. Be careful, my lord, Sunagakur is attacking. Ninjas from the Hyuga clan noticed Sunagakur's actions through Byakugan and reported it immediately. Doden, earth style, troops ready. Miyamura Harmony knew that Sunagakur's counterattack was coming, and quickly dispatched the Doden, earth style, troops. The smoke dissipated, a large number of Futon, wind style, ninjutsu attacks shot out from the smoke, heading straight for the fortress. Defense. After receiving the instructions of Miyamura Harmony, the ninjas of the Doden, earth style, force quickly made a wall of earth to block the front of the fortress. Boom. The explosion sounded, and various Futon, wind style, ninjutsu bombarded the earth wall, and the earthen walls were smashed, but the Futon, wind style, ninjutsu was also blocked. Soon the Futon, wind style, ninjutsu was over. At this time, the smoke had dissipated, and Sunagakur's figure was revealed, but they were only about 100 meters away from the fortress. Kill. The screams of killing sounded, and countless ninjas rushed towards the fortress, and from time to time, some people threw kunai and shuriken at the fortress. Seeing that Sunagakur launched an all-out attack, Miyamura Kaden quickly ordered Kaden, fire-style troops to attack again. Soon a large flame enveloped the battlefield. The face of the attack, the Sunagakur showed their magical powers. When the flames ended, most of the Sunagakur survived, and only 24 people were burned to death. Then the Raiden thunder style and Futon wind style troops also shot one after another. Finally, after Sunagakur paid nearly 100 lives, Sunagakur had come under the city wall. The 100-meter-high city wall is very tall for ordinary people, but it is nothing to ninjas. Even if Chunin jumps with all his strength, he can pick 20 or 30 meters, and then rely on chakra to absorb his body on the city wall. And then ran towards the city wall as if walking on the ground. Konoha ninja on the wall kept attacking, trying to stop Sunagakur from coming up. Battle broke out, and many Sunagakur sacrificed their lives to climb the city wall, but Konoha ninjas were also not feeling well, and many people were killed by kunai or ninjutsu shot from below the city. Looking at the tragic scene in front of them, Dong Shenyao and the others were unmoved. Everyone is not a rookie who has just entered the battlefield, and they have long been accustomed to this situation. The battle continued for more than 2 hours, and seeing that the fortress could not be breached, suddenly Sunagakur began to retreat. After seeing this situation, Miyamura Harmony's expression changed and became solemn. Their people, Jinchuriki column, are about to take action. That's what happened before, and Sunagakur will suddenly retreat. Miyamura explained in Harmony. Everyone, success or failure is a matter of one stroke. If the opponent's Jinchuriki column force cannot be directly resolved this time, it will be even more difficult for them to be prepared in the future, so everyone must go all out and do whatever it takes. Miyamura Harmony said in a heavy tone. Don't worry, we are all ready to sacrifice. Aquanying said seriously. Thinking of the plan proposed by Dong Shenyao before, Miyamura Harmony and the others felt a sense of dissatisfaction, because the price was very high, but for the sake of future battles, they had to do it. Chapter 283 Cruel Plan. When the ninjas of Sunagakur village all retreated, the ninjas of Konoha village were not only not happy, but even more nervous, because they knew that the real battle had just begun. Soon everyone saw that more than a dozen people came out of the Sunagakur village team. These people were old and young, male and female, and not only Sunagakur, but one of them was a ninja from Tang Nin village. The dozen or so ninjas stopped when they walked more than 100 meters away from the city wall, and then saw one of the young men take a few steps forward and looked up at Harmony Miyamura on the city wall. Miyamura Harmony, you surrender, there is one tail, you can't win. The young man said with some pride. Guardian, this fortress was built by Shodai first Sama. How could the mere Jinchuriki column force be able to break through it? If you have the ability, you can break the fortress. Miyamura provocatively said in a harmonious voice. Very well, since you don't want to surrender, don't blame me for being rude, Zhao Rong shot. The young man turned his head and shouted to the person behind him. This is a man in his 20s. Although he is walking with other people, this person seems a little out of place. Everyone else is subconsciously separated from this man, and this man looks like a whole person. It is also a bit gloomy, and it has thick dark circles under the eyes. Hearing the guard's words, Zhao Rong looked up at him and didn't speak, but a bloodthirsty color flashed in his eyes, and then walked directly towards the fortress. This is the one-tailed Jinchuriki column power corner, everyone is ready to shoot. Miyamura said, pointing at the corner. Boom! A powerful aura emanated from Zhao Rong's body, and then saw his body swell, a large amount of chakra emanating from his body, and a large amount of sand gushing out of his body at the same time. It didn't take long for Zhao Rong's image to change drastically. He turned into a huge monster. At the same time, a violent aura emanated. Even if they were separated by nearly 100 meters, Dong Shenyao and the others were able to detect this terror. Man's momentum. Is this a tailed beast? It's really powerful. Even the weakest tail is not something I can deal with now. Dong Shenyao thought to himself. Futon, wind style, practice the empty bomb. I saw Shukaku, who had transformed into Coke Rong, opened his mouth, and a huge air cannon suddenly condensed from this mouth. Boom! The air catapulted out and went straight to the fortress. I saw that the air where the air cannon passed by fluctuated violently, and at the same time, a ravine appeared on the ground. Dong Shenyao was very suspicious. If the empty bomb really hit the city wall, I am afraid that even the reinforced city wall would not be able to withstand it. Go! This is Miyamura shouting in harmony, and everyone immediately hand seal. Kaden, fire style, fierce dragon flame jutsu. Woo! The flame giant dragon flew out and instantly collided with the air cannon. Boom! The explosion sounded, the fire dragon directly swallowed the air cannon, and then exploded directly into countless flames that dissipated in this breath. After blocking a practice bullet, Miyamura Harmony hurriedly shouted, "Don't let him continue to shoot, let's go." After greeting, he jumped off the city wall first. Everyone had already discussed it before, so there was no hesitation. A group of cage-level and quasi-cage-level masters jumped off the city wall at the same time, and then the others did not stay on the city wall to watch the fun, and a group of Chunin and Jonin also followed. Seeing that the Konoha ninjas came out in full force, Sunagakure was a little puzzled, because once the Jinchuriki column attacked, the Konoha ninjas would immediately retreat, but this time is different from the usual. Konoha not only did not retreat, but took the initiative to attack. Let them think. Is there any conspiracy in Konoha village? Although there are some doubts, the Sunagakure executives have no intention of retreating, because the time has come. Even if there is a conspiracy in Konoha village, they have to bite the bullet. Everyone, the masters of Konoha have already acted. It's time for us to take action. As long as we stop these masters, the Jinchuriki column force will naturally break the city wall. After the other people looked at each other, they all took action. Miyamura Harmony and the others could deal with the Jinchuriki column force. They were already stopped by Sunagakure's commander, the guards. Harmony Miyamura, I let you run away last time, this time I must kill you. The guards said coldly. Junior, although I really want to have a fight with you, but unfortunately, I can't do it this time. Miyamura Harmony said with some disappointment. Kono was stunned when he heard that, but before he could ask, a group of Konoha ninjas had already arrived. These people didn't talk nonsense. Thousands of people shot directly at Kono and other Sunagakure village masters. What? Kono and the others did not expect such a thing to happen. Although they are strong and the weakest are also quasi-shadows, it is not difficult to deal with these strongest but elite Jonin people, but that refers to the case of a small number of people. In the face of thousands of Konoha ninjas, even cage-level masters can only back down. Although there are more than 10 guards now, they can't bear to face so many people all at once. Damn! Kono and the others did not expect Konoha to use such a method. Seeing that the Sunagakure village master was entangled, Miyamura Harmony and others did not hesitate. They knew that every second delay, the Konoha ninja would die, so they must solve the human Jinchuriki column force as soon as possible, and then come to deal with the Sunagakure village master. Not good. Seeing Miyamura Harmony and the others running towards Jinchuriki column force, Kono's face changed greatly. Don't get entangled with these Konoha ninjas, stop Miyamura Harmony and them. The guards quickly reminded. Human Jinchuriki column force is indeed strong, but that is only relative to ordinary ninjas. Once faced with the siege of more than a dozen quasi-shadows and cage-level masters, the human Jinchuriki column force cannot stop it, especially if it is only one-tail people Jinchuriki column force. Seeing the guards and they are leaving, how would the Konoha ninja allow it? This is a plan that has been negotiated. Although it is a bit cruel, it can only be done in order to block Sunagakure. This is the plan that Toshinyao proposed before, using the lives of ordinary ninjas to hold back the masters of Sunagakure, and these quasi-cage and cage-level masters to surround and kill Jinchuriki column force. This is indeed a good way. After all, in order not to accidentally hurt their own people, the ordinary ninjas of Sunagakure retreated. Without Sunagakure's ordinary ninja coercion, these Konoha ninjas can indeed hold back the masters of Sunagakure village. But it is also a bit cruel, because in order to stop the Sunagakure village master, the Konoha ninja will pay a heavy price. However, there is no way to do this. After all, if this is not done, then more people will die. In the original work, Naruto is always clamoring to protect his companions, and he cannot sacrifice his companions at any time. This is not wrong in Dong Shenyao's view, but he also needs to divide his time. Sometimes, in order to protect more important things, his companions must not be sacrificed. Don't sacrifice. Chapter 284 The First Battle Aikido Jinchuriki Column Force. The war is tragic. Although it is said that there will inevitably be sacrifices in the war, the casualties of Konoha ninjas are particularly huge at this time. In order to stop the powerhouses in Sunagakure village, a group of Konoha ninjas gave up their lives to face the shadows and even the cage-level masters. Even the ordinary Jonin could only be killed in seconds, and only the elite Jonin could resist 1 or 2. There are not many elite Jonins in the entire Konoha village, and at this time there are no more than 30 elite Jonins here. Konoha ninjas who died in the hands of the Sunagakur village to be close to 100, and the number is still increasing. At the same time, the battle between Miyamura Harmony and others in Aikido Jinchuiki column force also begins. Miyamura Harmony and the others knew that in order to hold down the Sunagakur masters, people died every minute and every second, so in order to minimize casualties, they could only solve the Jinchuriki column force as soon as possible, and then stop the Sunagakur masters. The crowd directly surrounded the human Jinchuriki column force in the middle. At this time, the human Jinchuriki column force had completely turned into a tail beast and turned into a huge Shukaku, but now the human Jinchuriki column force's mind is still there. Kaden, fire style, head hard. Raiden, thunder style, false darkness. Futon, wind style, crushing. Meteorites fall. Quote. Various kinds of ninjutsu appeared at the same time, and the Jinchuriki column force attacked the center from all directions. Fireballs, thunderbolts, wind bombs, and huge meteorites, etc., all kinds of attacks are coming. Faced with such an attack, ordinary cage-level masters can't stop it. After all, there are 3 cages who shot at this time. Level powerhouse is there, others are the worst and quasi-shadow. In the face of the surrounding attacks, the one-tailed Jinchuriki column Li Jiaorong also sensed the crisis, and immediately did not hesitate, and hurriedly output chakra with all his strength to resist the attack of everyone. Boom! I saw a lot of sand rising from the ground around Jiaorong, and the sand directly wrapped the huge body of Jiaorong-tailed beast in the middle. Boom! 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 Everyone's attacks continued to bombard the sand, and the explosions sounded one after another, like fireworks. The billowing smoke turned into a mushroom cloud, and the whole earth was shaking. Hyuga New Town, how's the situation? Because of the smoke, most people couldn't see the inside, so Miyamura Harmony could only ask the Hyuga clan. Hyuga New Town is a quasi-cage level expert of the Hyuga family. At this time, I drove by Akugan to watch the situation inside. No, Hyuga New Town shook his head. It's full of chakras interfering with my vision, and I can't see the situation of human Jinchuriki column force right now. It turned out to be like this. Miyamura Heshung was a little disappointed. Everyone, be careful, the current situation of the Jinchuriki column force is unknown. Miyamura reminded Harmony. Roar. Suddenly a roar sounded, and then a large gust of wind blew out of the smoke, and soon the smoke was blown away by the strong wind, and then the situation inside was revealed. I saw that Jiaorong, who had been transformed into a tailed beast, was revealed again. The tailed beast body that had been wrapped around him before had turned into sand and scattered, apparently being broken by the attack of everyone. Although relying on the sand and the body of the tailed beast to block most of the attacks, Jiaorong himself is not in a good condition, with bloodshot eyes and a lot of wounds on his body. You pissed me off. After shouting angrily, Jiaorong began to change again. Let's go. This is not a turn-based game. How could Miyamura Harmony and the others give Jiaorong the time to prepare, and suddenly everyone shot again. All kinds of ninjutsu poured out again, and at the same time hit Jiaorong. However, it was still a little late, and Jiaorong quickly turned into a tailed beast. This time, he did not passively agree, but chose to fight back. Futon, wind style, practice the empty bomb. Futon, wind style, practice the empty bomb. Quote. A series of 4 practice air bombs were fired around, and at the same time, he also mobilized the surrounding sand to protect himself. Boom. The attacks of the 2 sides collided again, and when everything was over again, everyone found that this time Jiaorong's situation was much better than the last time. At least the outer layer of Shukaku's body did not collapse. Ninja, fake sleeping technique. Soon Kakuro's body appeared on Shukaku's body, but he fell asleep. No, Shukaku is completely awake. At this time, the expressions of Miyamura Harmony and others changed drastically. Ordinary people, Jinchuriki column, can't get along well with tailed beasts, so they can't show the true strength of tailed beasts at all. If Zhaorong was only in the early stage of cage level before, Shukaku will wake up at this time, and his strength will directly reach the mid-cage level, and relying on the huge number of chakras, it is generally difficult for the powerhouses in the later stage of cage level to cope. Ha ha ha, I saw so many people as soon as I came out, it's great, I'm going to kill you all, turn me into sand. Shukaku let out a loud roar, and his whole body suddenly burst into momentum, and a large amount of chakra spewed out, and then saw a stream of yellow sand gushing out from under Shukaku, like a tsunami overwhelming Miyamura Harmony and others. Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign. Seeing the sand coming, Dong Shenyao blocked one hand in front of him, and then released a repulsive force, directly blocking the sand that hit him. Although Ta Shenyao's current master's repulsive force could not completely resist Shukaku's attack, it would be fine if he just protected himself. At the same time, the others also showed their magical powers to resist Shukaku's attack. Although the scope of this move is very large, the attack power is relatively low. It may be a fatal threat to ordinary ninjas, but it is nothing to quasi-cage and even cage-level masters. Doden, Earth Style, Earth Lord. After Ta Shenyao blocked Shukaku's attack, he directly condensed a rock giant to attack Shukaku, while others also attacked Shukaku. 8 trigrams breaking the mountain. Kaden, Fire Style, Flame Extinction. Bang! The rock giant hit Shukaku with a punch. The blow that could open the mountain and crack the rock didn't have much effect on Shukaku. It just made Shukaku take a few steps back. 5.6. The rock giant is more than 10 meters high, but it looks a little short in front of Shukaku. One Shukaku can stand up to 2 rock giants. Soon other people's attacks also came, but Shukaku would not let everyone's attacks hit him. I saw that Shukaku quickly mobilized the surrounding sand to resist the attack, and at the same time sprayed the air cannon to attack. For a time, the two sides launched a fierce battle. The strength of the tailed beast mainly has 3 points. The first point is the strength and defense brought by the huge body, and the second point is the huge number of chakras. A normal ninja, even at cage level, has far less chakra in its body than a tailed beast. Unless it has a special physique or special skills, how can a human be compared to a tailed beast? The third point is Tailed Beast Bomb. Its power is comparable to S-level ninjutsu, and its destructive power is amazing. Even a cage-level expert will be seriously injured if he is hit in the front. Chapter 285 Killing Jinchuriki, Column Force. The tailed beasts are very powerful in terms of vitality and defense, and general attacks have no effect on them at all. Boom! I saw a fireball hit Shukaku. Although it hit a lot of sand, Shukaku recovered shortly after, which not only did not hurt it, but angered Shukaku. It can't go on like this, we have to find a way to wake up the Jinchuriki column force. Seeing that Shukaku was so difficult to deal with, Miyamura Harmony was a little anxious. Commander, I can fly, leave the matter of waking up Jinchuriki column to me, but please trap one tail. At this time, Dong Shenyao volunteered. Then I'll leave it to you. Miyamura Harmony didn't say much, and then directly greeted everyone to trap Shukaku. Futon, Wind Style, Wind Lock. Silver Tiger manipulated a chain of wind, directly binding Shukaku. Damn, get out of here. Shukaku roared and struggled violently, and some cracks appeared on the wind chain. Stop it for me. Dong Shenyao 15 also quickly controlled the rock giant to hug Shukaku, and then the others also used different methods to block Shukaku's movements. Some used ninjutsu, some used chains, and they were really trapped for a while. Shukaku _ It's now. Seeing that Dong Shenyao didn't dare to delay, he flew up quickly, and soon came to Shukaku's shoulder. At this time Zhaorong fell asleep here. Not good. At this time, Shukaku also noticed Dong Shenyao's movements, and it knew that once Kokyung was awakened, it would return to the Dark Seal again. Deliberately dodge, But now Shukaku is trapped and unable to move his body, so he can only control the sand to attack Dong Xinyao. Shinra Tensai Almighty Push sign. Ta Xinyao hurriedly deployed repulsion around his body, blocking Shukaku's attack, and finally, Ta Xinyao came to Kokyung's side. Wake me up. Dong Xinyao roared and punched Zhao Rong. The reason why I didn't use the Shadow Slasher is because now Shukaku has come out of the seal. If Zhao Rong is still alive, the temporary seal can still control Shukaku. Only after Shukaku returns to the seal and then kills Kokyung will Shukaku die with the Jinchuriki column force. Bang! Dong Xinyao punched Zhao Rong in the face, knocking out his mouth full of kiba teeth, and blood spurted out. After being attacked, Zhao Rong immediately woke up, and Shukaku roared unwillingly, "No. Damn bastard, I'll be back." Soon Shukaku returned to the seal. Because he lost control, the huge Shukaku body suddenly turned into fine sand and scattered to the ground. At this time, Zhao Rong's situation is very bad, because Shukaku has just been released, which has caused his body to be severely injured. Although he is not dead now, his combat power has also been greatly reduced. It's now. Kill. This is a cage-level expert, and it's worth a lot of money. How could Dong Xinyao be polite to him, take out the shadow-chopping saber directly, and go straight to Zhao Rong's head to chop it off? No. Zhao Rong screamed in horror, but unfortunately his strength has been greatly reduced now, and Dong Xinyao has quietly opened a small gravity field, so Zhao Rong can't dodge at all. PFF'd. Blood splattered, and Zhao Rong's head was chopped off. Dead, ha ha ha, finally died. Seeing that Jinchuriki column force was killed, Miyamura Harmony suddenly shouted excitedly, and the others also showed excitement. Didn't they pay such a huge loss to solve the problem of Jinchuriki column? Not good. At this time, the experts of Sunagakure village also realized that something was wrong. Although they had not seen the Jinchuriki column force being killed, they had already discovered that the tailed beast was gone. What's the matter? Has the power of the Jinchuriki column been resolved? Thinking of this, these Sunagakure masters were worried. The reason why they were able to defeat Konoha during this period was because of the Jinchuriki column power. Once they lose their Jinchuriki column power, then their life will not be easy. After more than half a minute, Miyamura Harmony returned to calm, although he was very happy that Jinchuriki column died, but he knew even more that the battle was not over yet, and it was not the time to relax. Everyone, now our comrades are still fighting bloody battles, we are not resting, come with me and kill those bastards of Sunagakure. Kill, kill, kill. Silver Tiger and the others roared immediately, and then rushed straight to the experts from Sunagakure village. At this time, those Sunagakure village masters were slaughtering ordinary ninjas in Konoha village. Now that they were stopped, they just wanted to kill more people and make Konoha village suffer huge losses, so that even if the human Jinchuriki column force was really solved, Konoha, who had lost his power, was no longer their opponent. It's just that their idea is good, but they don't have much time to execute it. It only takes more than 10 minutes from the start of the battle to the fall of the human Jinchuriki column force. Although the Sunagakure village masters are powerful, they haven't killed many Konoha ninjas. Under the siege of hundreds of people, Zunying has to deal with it carefully. Konoha masters who quickly dealt with the Jinchuriki column force returned and stopped these Sunagakure masters. Not good. Seeing the return of the Konoha masters, these Sunagakure masters know that the Jinchuriki column force has probably been resolved. Retreat. Without the slightest hesitation, the commander of Sunagakure village directly issued 863 orders. It's impossible not to retreat. Now they are fighting alone. Before, they were only good against ordinary ninjas. Now the strong Konoha has returned, and with ordinary ninjas, they are fully capable of killing them. After being instructed, everyone did not dare to stay and retreat quickly, but where would the Konoha ninja allow it? Sunagakure killed a lot of people just now, and now it's time for them to take revenge. How can these people leave easily? The end, the Sunagakure masters were almost all injured, and then they escaped, but even so, they still sacrificed the life of a quasi-shadow. We won, we won. At the end of the battle, everyone cheered suddenly. Although many people died, they won after all, which is worth celebrating. But after cheering, everyone began to clean the battlefield and tidy up the corpses. It didn't end until 2 hours later. In the fortress's discussion hall, a group of high-level officials sat around. Although they won, there was no smile on everyone's face, because they paid too much for this victory. This time, more than 400 ordinary ninjas were killed or injured, of which more than 40 were killed by Jonin, and there were 2 elite Jonin. Miyamura Harmony said in a heavy tone. The others were silent when they heard the words. Although they had already expected that the loss would be not small, they were still somewhat unacceptable when they really knew the result. Chapter 286 Counterattack. In order to stop the masters of Sunagakure village, more than 400 ordinary ninjas died. This loss is very huge, and this has not counted the injuries. In addition, many ordinary ninjas died in the previous battle. After this battle, the number of ninjas lost in Konoha village has exceeded 800. No one blamed Dong Xinyao who proposed this plan, because although the loss was not small, they knew that it had to be done. More people will die in the future. Although there are more deaths now, at least in the future battles, their losses can be much smaller. The main thing, of course, is that the Sunagakure village suffered more than they did. The previous battle, Sunagakure village was on the attacking side, so the casualties would have exceeded that of Konoha. Afterwards, Jinchuriki column fought hard. Although Sunagakure village only lost 2 people, in terms of value, it exceeded the loss of more than 400 people from Konoha village. Must know that the one who died in Sunagakure village was Jinchuriki column force and a quasi-shadow. The value of a quasi-shadow is more than 200 ordinary ninjas, not to mention there is another person, Jinchuriki column force. With the death of the human Jinchuriki column force, the tailed beast sealed within him will also die. Although the tailed beast can still be resurrected, it must be several years or even 10 years later, which means that for a long time, Konoha village does not have to worry about the threat posed by the tailed beast of Sunagakure village. So although the loss is huge, it is totally worth it. A group of Konoha executives discussed the aftermath. Everyone went back to rest. After returning to the room, Dong Xinyao finally couldn't bear it any longer and laughed directly. Ha ha ha, that's great. It was impossible for Dong Xinyao to be unhappy, because Zhao Rong was killed by him in the end, so Dong Xinyao directly received a reward of 10,000 god-making points. As for the tailed beast, although the tail was in Zhao Rong's body, it was not killed by Dong Xinyao, so Dong Xinyao did not get the slightest point of creation. As for why the cage level master's Zhao Rong only has 10,000 points, which is only 1,000 more than that of Quenying, he is also very clear about this Dong Xinyao, because Zhao Rong is only in the early stage of cage level. Different from quasi-shadow, the system divides cage level into 5 levels, namely initial stage, middle stage, late stage, peak and consummation. Among them, there are only 10,000 god-making points in the early stage of cage level, but if Dong Xinyao kills in the middle stage of cage level, then he can get 20,000 god-making points, and then for each level he increases, he will increase by 10,000 god-making points. If Dong Xinyao kills a complete cage level expert, then he can get 50,000 god-making points. Although the rewards are very rich, Dong Xinyao knows that he can't do it in a short time. Even in the early stage of cage level, it is not so easy to kill. If not so many people shot together this time, Dong Xinyao wouldn't be able to kill Zhao Rong. It could be said that Dong Xinyao was just taking advantage of it. However, no matter how he has 10,000 god-making points, Dong Xinyao is still very happy, because with these 10,000 god-making points, he now has more than 43,000 god-making points. He can exchange Mangekyo. Dong Xinyao wanted to see what abilities he would gain if he turned on Mangekyo. The next day, Kazuo Miyamura led the Matsuri offering for the dead ninja, and after another day off, the counteroffensive began. The existence of the human Jinchuriki column force made the Konoha ninja extremely frustrated. Now that the human Jinchuriki column force has finally been resolved, of course they have to take revenge. This day, Harmony of Tiangong village directly led people to attack the camp of Sunagakur village. This time, the situation on both sides was directly reversed. Sunagakur village, which was on the attacking side, became the defending side. On the contrary, Konoha village became the attacking side. At this time, Sunagakur village did not dare to fight Konoha head-on at all, because through the previous battle, Sunagakur already knew that Konoha had come to reinforce the army, and the loss of Sunagakur's high-end combat power was not small. If they fought head-on, they would not be Konoha's opponent at all, so now they can only rely on the geographical advantage of the camp to resist Konoha's attack. Hundreds of meters away from the Sunagakur village camp, thousands of Konoha ninjas stood there neatly, and with the order of Miyamura Harmony, the battle began. The ninjas of various units gathered together and released ninjutsu at the same time, and the overwhelming ninjutsu hit the Sunagakur village camp. Sunagakur village was prepared for this situation, and soon there were ninjas to resist, and the two sides launched a ninjutsu contest for a while. Both sides come and go, but most of the time it is Konoha village attacking and Sunagakur village defending. From time to time, ninjas on both sides were hit by stray arrows, either injured or dead. Finally, after holding on for half an hour, the defense of Sunagakur village completely collapsed, and the defense outside the camp was broken. After all, this camp was only temporarily built by Sunagakur village, and its strength could not be compared with the fortress of Konoha village. Rush. Seeing the camp being breached, Miyamura Harmony gave an order, and then took the lead in attacking the Sunagakur village camp. Dong Xinyao followed Miyamura Harmony closely and looked very active. It's not that Dong Xinyao wants to avenge others, the reason why he is so active is entirely to create a god. Seeing the Konoha ninja rushing over, Sunagakur hurriedly resisted. Some used ninjutsu, and some threw out ninja tools, resisting Dong Xinyao and them. The Konoha ninja would not sit still and attacked while running. Rock rain. Whoosh whoosh. A large amount of soil thorns flew out and shot at Sunagakur. The distance of hundreds of meters is fleeting, and soon the two sides will face each other. However, the strong men from Konoha village, such as Miyamura Harmony, who rushed in the front, were stopped by the strong men from Sunagakur village before they killed a few people. Kone, the end of your Sunagakur has come. At this time, Miyamura Harmony was full of arrogance, and he no longer had the decadence of the previous days. Miyamura Harmony, don't talk nonsense. Even if there is no Jinchuriki column force, you Konoha are not our opponents. Jiden magnet style, sand iron shigur. Looking at the iron sand beside Kono, Tashinyao was surprised, because he knew that in Sunagakur village, only the third and fourth case cages used Jiden magnet style, but at this point in time, the fourth case cage may not have been born yet. So this person can only be the future 3 generations of case cage. I didn't expect to see the future 3 generations of case cage. Dong Xinyao looked at the guards curiously. Although the 3 generations of case cage did not officially appear in the original work, it cannot be denied that it is powerful, because the 3rd generation of case cage is known as the strongest of all case cages in the past, although I don't know how much water there is in it, but it is enough to explain its strength. Chapter 287 Sunagakur Defeat. Although he met the future 3rd generation case cage, Tashinyao was not too worried, because this kind of cage-level existence naturally had others to deal with. Tashinyao saw the future 3 generations of case cage Kono and Miyamura Harmony leave. Apparently the two were looking for a place to fight. Cage-level powerhouses are too destructive and can easily hurt others, so they will not easily fight on the battlefield. Their battlefield is elsewhere. Soon a high-level shadow and cage-level master from Konoha village was stopped by the strong men from Sunagakur village, and they all left the battlefield. Originally, the number of strongmen on both sides was about the same, but this time Senju Tobarama sent Dong Xinyao and the other 4. So now in terms of the number of strongmen, they are Konoha who have the upper hand, which gives them a lot of room to play. Let's go, let's hunt Zun Ying. Silver Tiger greeted and led Dong Xinyao and the other 3 out of the battlefield. Although he was a little reluctant to give up the head here, Dong Shenyao didn't stay. After all, a quasi-shadow is worth 9,000 god-making points, and it is enough to kill a quasi-shadow. Soon Silver Tiger brought Dong Shenyao and the three to the battlefield of Zunying and cage-level masters. At this time, the two sides have already fought, and most people can only hear the constant collision at 9:30, but they can't see the silhouette, because the speed of these people is too fast, and the eyes of ordinary people can't keep up. However, Dong Shenyao and the others are all very strong, and they can see the process of the fight. I saw more than 20 people on both sides fighting together. You and I were fighting very lively, and some ninjutsu would appear from time to time. Let's go. Hello, Silver Tiger took the lead in rushing up, and after seeing Dong Shenyao and the three looking at each other, he did not speak, but went straight to the battlefield with a tacit understanding. He came to the battlefield. Dong Shenyao took out his shadow-cutting knife and stabbed a quasi-shadow from Sunagakure village. As expected of a quasi-cage, although this person was fighting with a Konoha village quasi-cage, he still blocked Tashinyao's attack in time. It's just that Ichiro Nagai's attack has already arrived just after blocking Tashinyao's attack. Dang dang dang. The symphony of gold and iron sounded, so Sunagakure village's Zunying faced the three Zunying alone, and he was stretched for a while. Damn, futon, wind style, 1,000 faces. Woo. This Sunagakure village Junkage hurriedly used ninjutsu to force Tashinyao and the others to get some breathing time. Nagai Ichiro and another Junkage withdrew, but Tashinyao did not. Shinra Tensai, almighty push, sign. Boom. An instant, countless wind blades were bounced off, and some even counterattacked back to Sunagakure, which made Sunagakure suddenly confused. After he blocked the wind blades, Dong Shenyao's attack had arrived. PFF'd. Shadow-chopping knife pierced Sunagakure's shoulder, and blood flowed out immediately. At this time, this Sunagakure's face was full of palpitations. If he hadn't dodged in time, he might have died by now. However, although he escaped the key point, his situation was not good, because at this time, the attack of Nagai Ichiro and the two had already arrived. More than a dozen shuriken shot over. Sunagakure didn't have time to think about it, and hurriedly dodged, but it was still a little slower, and he was hit by several shuriken. Originally, this Sunagakure was not the opponent of the three of Dong Shenyao. At this time, he was injured again. How could he be able to stop it? Seeing this, the other Sunagakure came to support, but they were helpless, because they were all entangled by their opponents and couldn't escape at all. Go to hell. After dozens of rounds, the Sunagakure had just dodged the rock giant's attack, and the next moment, Dong Shenyao's figure appeared on the ground behind him. PFF'd. The shadow-slaying saber pierced directly into his heart. The tip of the sword came out of his heart, and blood flowed out, instantly dyeing the clothes on Yuhi's chest. Blankly at the heart, this Sunagakure looked unwilling, but unfortunately his heart was pierced, and he obviously couldn't survive without his immortality. Puff. When Dong Shenyao took back the shadow-slaying sword, Sunagakure's body fell directly to the ground. At this time, a smile appeared on the corner of Dong Shenyao's mouth, and he killed a Quenying. Now his magic point has exceeded 50,000. Mangekyo can be exchanged. Hey, as expected, it's quicker to kill the master. Dong Shenyao thought very happily. After beheading a Quenying, the three of them took a rest before joining the battle again. Long for the masters of Sunagakure village to show their defeat. There was nothing they could do. They were at a disadvantage in numbers and their strength was not good enough to stop the attack of the Konoha ninjas. Retreat. In desperation, the guards could only choose to escape, otherwise they would all have to die here. When Kono and the others escaped, the experts from Konoha village gathered together, did some math, and found that this time they had killed two quasi-shadows from Sunagakure village. Great, this time I see how Sunagakure village can stop our attack. Miyamura was overjoyed, and the shadow of the previous loss of a large number of ninjas also faded a lot. Okay, let's go back. It's too late. Sunagakure should run, Silver Tiger reminded. Well, let's go. Immediately everyone quickly returned to the main battlefield. At this time, the ordinary Sunagaku also got the news and started to run away. Seeing this, the Konoha ninja was chasing after him. When Dong Shenyao and the others came back, they soon joined the chasing team, and finally stopped after chasing them for dozens of miles. Relying on the advantage of flying, Dong Shenyao killed a lot of Sunagaku, although most of them were only chunin, but they added up to a lot of money. After the battle, it was not until dusk that everyone gathered at the original Sunagaku village camp. At this point, the camp was basically leveled, and even the supplies were burned when Sunagaku escaped. After finishing the team, because it was getting late, Harmony Miyamura didn't send someone to clean the battlefield, and took them back to the fortress to rest. Ha ha ha, that's great, Sunagaku doesn't want to turn over now, Miyamura said with a harmonious laugh in the discussion hall. Everyone else had a happy look on their faces, but Dong Shenyao had a far-fetched smile in his smile, because he knew that although Sunagaku lost a lot in this battle, it wasn't even a bit of an injury. After all, Sunagaku village is also one of the 5 major ninja villages, and it still has some background. It is not easy to completely defeat them. At most, it is just driving them back to the land of wind. But once Senju Tobarama falls, they will usher in a stormy blow from Sunagaku village. Flying Clouds and Flying 20Y. Chapter 288 Chase After Victory. Looking at the happy Konoha masters, Dong Shenyao couldn't help shaking his head. What am I worried about? Anyway, in the original book, Konoha survived. I think that even if Senju Tobarama dies, Konoha will be a little dangerous, but it will be enough to persevere. Thinking of this, Tashinyao's heart was completely put down, not think about these things again. Now that Sunagaku village has been greatly reduced, what do you guys think of our next actions? Miyamura asked after glancing at everyone. My lord, Sunagaku village forced us so badly. Now that we have the upper hand, of course we can't let them go. We must fight hard. It is best to make Sunagaku village surrender. A quasi-shadow said viciously, obviously before there are no less people in this Sunagaku village who are deflated. That's right, Sunagaku village can't be spared, we should pursue the victory. Someone soon echoed. In the final discussion, most of the people were in favor of chasing after the victory, and only 3 people wanted to recuperate. The minority obeyed the majority, and finally Miyamura Harmony made the final decision. Now I announce that after a 2-day rest, I will launch an attack on Sunagaku village. Yeah, those who advocated the pursuit of victory suddenly cheered. After discussing the matter, because it was getting late, Miyamura Harmony directly announced the dismissal of the meeting. At this time, many Konoha ninjas were injured, so Miyamura Harmony did not hold a celebration banquet. After the meeting, everyone went back to deal with their own affairs. The 4 of Dong Shenyao were just here to support. Although they had a high status, they didn't have any specific duties, so they were relatively leisurely at this time. The 4 of them simply got together and chatted while eating dinner. Senior Silver Tiger, now that the situation on the front line is clear, what should we do next? Yaji asked. Well, I'm Anbu's deputy minister. There are still a lot of things to deal with in the village. Now the crisis on the front line has been resolved, so I will go back to the village. And Dong Shenyao, he is the captain of the Dark Blade, I can't do without him just now, so Dong Shenyao will come back with me. As for the 2 of you, just stay on the front line for a while. Silver Tiger thought about it and made an arrangement. 3 of Dong Shenyao didn't say anything about Silver Tiger's decision. Although staying on the front line can kill people and get some god-building points, Dong Shenyao knows that it is impossible to kill Zunying like today. At most, it will kill some ordinary ninjas. Not many points, so there is no objection. And Yichi and the 2 have nothing to do when they return to the village. It is better to stay on the front line and accumulate some credit, so they also agree to Silver Tiger's arrangement. The next day, Miyamura Harmony began to arrange for everyone to clean the battlefield, and then held a celebration feast in the evening. This is not just to celebrate the victory, but also to remove the shadow of the previous defeat for everyone. Obviously, Miyamura Harmony's plan was successful. Dong Shenyao found that after the celebration feast, the morale of the ninjas had indeed improved a lot. After eating the celebration feast and resting for another day, Konoha started a counterattack, planning to drive Sunagaku back to the Land of Winds directly. However, Dong Shenyao did not participate in the counterattack because he and Silver Tiger were already on their way back to Konoha village. "Yao, how's the Dark Blade thing going, is it hard?" Silver Tiger asked with concern while walking on the road. Dark Blade also belongs to Anbu, although it belongs directly to Senju Tobarama, but speaking of Dong Shenyao and Silver Tiger, they can be regarded as a system person, and Dong Shenyao has been under Silver Tiger before, so Silver Tiger is still very good to Dong Shenyao. Taken care of. Silver Tiger wanted to care about the Dark Blade before, but because the two never had the chance to get along alone, Silver Tiger didn't ask. "Thank you for your concern, Senior. Although the Dark Blade has just been established, everyone is very cooperative, so everything is going well." "It's fine, but you still have a long way to go." At that time, when Anbu was established, Lord Hokage mobilized the power of most of the village to create it, and even integrated some of the power of the Senju clan into it, but even if as such, it still took years to get Anbu to scale. Now the Dark Blade can only rely on you. For the rest, the establishment of the intelligence network is a very labor-intensive and financially intensive thing. If you encounter any difficulties in the future, you can come to me. No matter what, you are all part of Anbu, and I will try my best to help you. Silver Tiger said sincerely. "Thank you, Senior. If I really encounter difficulties, I will definitely find Senior." Dong Shenyao said gratefully. When Silver Tiger and Dong Shenyao returned to the village, they were going to report the situation to Senju Tobarama, but they got news that Senju Tobarama had left the village and went to negotiate with Kumogakure village. Hey! After hearing this news, Dong Shenyao sighed quietly. He knew that Senju Tobarama would never come back. The next time we meet again, I'm afraid it will only be through impure world reincarnation. Senju Tobarama is not there. Silver Tiger can only know Anbu, and Tashinyao also returned to the Dark Blade headquarters. "Captain, you're back." Seeing Dong Shenyao, everyone seemed very happy and at the same time heaved a sigh of relief. They also know the specifics of Dong Shenyao going to the front line before, but it is very dangerous to deal with the force of Jinchuriki column. Now that they see Dong Shenyao returning safely, they can rest assured. "Everyone, the ninja world may be in chaos next, so you must cultivate hard, only in this way can you survive." Dong Shenyao said very seriously. "What happened to Captain?" Hyuga asked with a frown. "I don't know, but I have a bad feeling." Of course, Dong Shenyao wouldn't tell the story of Senju Tobarama's fall. After all, it's hard to explain. Hearing that Dong Shenyao said it was a foreboding, everyone breathed a sigh of relief, but seeing that Dong Shenyao said it so seriously, they also took this matter in their hearts. Dong Shenyao asked again, and learned that although Dark Blade had received 2 tasks in the past few days since he left, Dong Shenyao was relieved after they were successfully completed in the end. The Dark Blade had nothing to deal with. Dong Shenyao left a shadow clone behind the Dark Blade, and he himself returned home. "I don't know if Tsunade is in the village or not." Dong Shenyao suddenly thought of Tsunade. He wondered if Tsunade could bear it when the news of Senju Tobarama's death came back. "Strength, even as strong as Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobarama will fall one day. I have to do my best." Chapter 289 Mangekyo. Thinking of Tsunade, Dong Shenyao couldn't sit still, and left his house to find Tsunade. The end, Dong Shenyao found her in Tsunade's house. "Yao, you are back." Tsunade was very happy when he saw Dong Shenyao, and jumped into his arms. The two held each other for a long time before releasing each other. "Tsunade wanted to see you last time I left, but you went on a mission." "Well, I heard that when I came back, I found out that you were on the battlefield again, but I was very worried." "How is it going well this time?" Tsunade asked with concern. "Well, it's going well, you see I'm back so soon." Just like that, the two chatted. Tashinya talked about the battlefield, Tsunade talked about the mission. Through Tsunade's narration, Dong Xinyao knew that Tsunade had only returned from a mission yesterday. Dong Xinyao stayed with Tsunade all day, until after the two had dinner together, Dong Xinyao left. Back home, Dong Xinyao couldn't wait to enter the space of creating gods. Dong Xinyao still thinks about Mangekyo Sharingan. If it wasn't for watching Tsunade, Dong Xinyao would have exchanged it long ago. In the beginning, Dong Xinyao planned to accumulate god-making points, and then directly exchange them for eternal Mangekyo, but now because he can absorb the power of life, Dong Xinyao is going to try to see if the power of life can alleviate the power of Mangekyo's curse. After entering the god-making space, Dong Xinyao directly found Mangekyo's exchange. Mangekyo Sharingan's rank requires 50,000 god building points. System: I want to exchange Mangekyo Sharingan. Ding! Mangekyo Sharingan exchange requires 50,000 god making points. Does the host exchange it? Yes. Huh. As soon as Dong Xinyao finished speaking, a golden light shone down. Under the shroud of this golden light, Dong Xinyao only felt a burst of pain in his eyes. Because this is just a Sharingan upgrade, not a new bloodline, Dong Xinyao can still bear this kind of pain. A minute later, the golden light Jinchuriki column disappeared, and then Dong Xinyao only felt a cool feeling in his eyes. After the exchange was over, Dong Xinyao hurriedly pulled out a mirror, took off his beauty contact lenses and began to look at it. Facing the mirror, Dong Xinyao turned on Sharingan directly, and then saw the three tomo in Dong Shenyao's eyes turn quickly, and finally changed suddenly. When it was all over, the three tomo had disappeared, replaced by a shuriken-shaped mark. Dong Xinyao looked at it and found that the style of his Mangekyo Sharingan was somewhat similar to Uchiha Itachi's, both of which were similar to shuriken, but the three shuriken blades in Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo were curved, but Dongshin shiny is straight. At the moment when Mangekyo Sharingan appeared, Dong Xinyao had already realized the ability of his two eyes. Mangekyo Sharingan is also known as the pupil of the portrayal of the soul. The reason for this name is that Mangekyo Sharingan's skills are based on what everyone desires most in their hearts. At this time, Dong Xinyao was very satisfied with the two abilities he had acquired. I didn't expect it to be this kind of ability. Although it's not a super offensive skill, it's just right for me. Dong Xinyao thought to himself. With the system, Dong Xinyao doesn't care what kind of Mangekyo skills he will awaken, because if necessary, he can exchange various Mangekyo skills through the system, such as Amaterasu, Kamui, etc. Originally, Dong Xinyao didn't care too much about what kind of abilities he would acquire, but when he understood the skills he had acquired, he was very happy, because the abilities of both eyes were very useful to him. Redeeming Mangekyo, Dong Shenyao's remaining god-making points are now only over 5,000, so he didn't stay in the god-making space too much. After getting used to Mangekyo's ability, he left. After the soul returned, Dong Xinyao was ready to experiment with his newly acquired abilities. The ability of Dong Shenyao's left eye needs to have an experimental target, so he did not experiment. Now what he has to do is to experiment with the ability of his right eye. Mangekyo in Dong Shenyao's right eye turned slightly, and then saw a green light group appear in Dong Shenyao's right hand. Although this light group looks similar to the green chakra that appears when using medical ninjutsu, but this is not chakra ability, but pure life force. That's right, it was the force of life that Dong Shenyao had always hoped to be able to control before. Dong Shenyao didn't expect that his Mangekyo's right eye skill turned out to be the force of life. As expected of the pupil of the portrayal of the soul, the awakening skill is really what I want most in my heart. Dong Shenyao was very happy in his heart. The skill of Dong Shenyao's right eye is called life control, which can control the power of life. If this skill is used well, it is a magical skill, and if it is not used well, it is a waste. But for Dong Shenyao, who can absorb the life force in the earth, this skill is a magical skill. However, Because this skill Dong Shenyao has just acquired and is not yet proficient in using it, he can only condense the power of life now, and he needs continuous practice in the future. Closing Mangekyo, Dong Shenyao obviously felt that the pupil power was reduced, but because Dong Shenyao just obtained Mangekyo, the life control used by Dong Shenyao was just a primary application, which consumed very little pupil power, so no eyes were found. What has changed? I finally exchanged Mangekyo. If Susanoo is developed, I might be able to fight against cage-level masters. Of course, although Susanoo is very powerful, 0.3 Dong Shenyao is not ready to use it like the Uchiha family. After all, no matter how powerful Susanoo is, after all, this ability still comes from Sharingan, and Sharingan's ability comes from Rinnegan. Otsutsuki Kagaya with Sharingan's skills, Dong Shenyao must create abilities beyond Sharingan or even Rinnegan to truly defeat Otsutsuki Kagaya, instead of sealing Otsutsuki Kagaya as tightly as in the original. Don't look at the fact that Naruto and Sasuke sealed Otsutsuki Kagaya in the original work, but you must know that Otsutsuki Kagaya was not the main body at that time, it could only be regarded as a clone. Even so, it still made Naruto and the others so difficult. It can be seen how strong the main body of Otsutsuki Kagaya will be. Shinyao's mission is to make him have to defeat Otsutsuki Kagaya. Chapter 290 Bad News. This exchange of Mangekyo, Dong Shenyao has one more task every day, which is to develop Mangekyo's skills. Although Mangekyo can use the skills immediately after it is turned on, it will be very rough to use at the beginning. Now what Dong Shenyao has to do is to develop Mangekyo's skills in depth, preferably to the micro level. The battle on the front line was still going on in full swing, but Dong Shenyao didn't care too much. Now he is practicing most of the time every day, and of course he will not forget to assign Shadow Clone to guide the members of the Dark Blade. In addition, when Tsunade has no assignments, Ta Shenyao will also take some time to accompany her. On the third day after Dong Shenyao returned to Konoha, he received news that Konoha village had won the Battle of River Country and had driven the ninjas of Sunagakur village back to the Country of Wind. As for Tang Nin village, which belonged to the Kingdom of Chuan, they were even more disabled. At this time, they had to migrate and temporarily stay away from this place of right and wrong. As for where they went, Dong Shenyao was not clear. If it weren't for the strong fortress of the Land of Winds, and Cage sent reinforcements, I'm afraid the Konoha ninja would have entered the Land of Wind 15. The battlefield of Luozhiguo has not changed much, the two sides are still in a stalemate, and neither of them is sure to defeat the other. However, on the 8th day after Dong Shenyao returned to Konoha, a piece of news spread throughout the village, and everyone was shocked when the news spread. In the Hokage office, all the high-level Konoha leaders gathered here. Anbu Deputy Minister Silver Tiger, Hyuga Clan Head Hyuga Masamune, Nara Clan Head Narahisa, Junkage Haze Chiaki, Captain Darkblade, Junkage Dong Shenyao and so on. At this time, the patriarchs of the major families in Konoha village, Zunying and Cage-level masters were all here, and everyone looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and others who were standing in the center of the room with solemn expressions. What the hell is going on, Lord Hokage, how could he? Patriarch Nara, we are in an ambush. Sarutobi Hiruzen said Yuhi with a circle around his eyes. Is it Kumogakure village? Nara asked after a long time. Yes and no, Sarutobi Hiruzen said bitterly. What the hell is going on? Yes, no, you gave an accurate message. Silver Tiger scolded impatiently. At this time, Dong Shenyao understood the meaning of Sarutobi Hiruzen. The ambush was indeed Kumogakure, but they should be regarded as missing nin of Kumogakure village, because the Golden Horn Silver Corner killed even the shadows of Kumogakure village. This is not a missing nin is nothing. It's like this. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't hide it, and told the story again. After listening to Dong Shenyao, he found that it was the same as what he knew. Originally, Senju Tobarama had a good talk with Reikage of Kumogakure village, and they had already formed an alliance to deal with Iwagakure village and Sunagakure village, but at this moment, the Golden Horn and Silver Horn of Kumogakure village suddenly attacked and killed Reikage the second generation on the spot. If it's just like this, it's nothing. With the strength of Senju Tobarama and the others, they are not afraid of the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn, but the key is that the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn are well prepared and brought a lot of direct descendants. Although Senju Tobarama and the others are powerful, they are too few in number, and the Golden Horn and Silver Horn are not given for nothing. Because the two have eaten the flesh and blood of Kyubi, Nine Tails, they can become Kyubi, Nine Tails plus 6 paths. The magic weapon left by the immortal is very powerful. Senju Tobarama is not afraid, relying on Hiraishin's technique. If he wants to leave, no one will leave him, but Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others can't. This time I came to Senju Tobarama with only 6 of my own disciples. Although they are all very strong and the weakest are quasi-shadows, in the face of a large number of Kumogakure village elites and Golden Horn Silver Horn, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others are not opponents at all. In order to protect his 6 disciples, Senju Tobarama had to choose to stay behind and let Sarutobi Hiruzen go first. To be said that Senju Tobarama is very powerful. In the face of 2 powerful cage-level masters from the Golden Horn and Silver Corner, as well as a group of Kumogakure village elites, they actually blocked them, allowing Sarutobi Hiruzen and others to escape safely. And after that, how about Hokage-sama? Nara asked after hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen saying that Senju Tobarama stayed behind to resist the enemy. The specific process is unclear because we haven't seen it with our own eyes, but we asked about it later and heard that at the end of the final battle, the teacher and the Golden Horn Silver Horn of Kumogakure village died together. Speaking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally couldn't help it. Tears flowed down the corners of his eyes. Everyone was silent, although they had already thought of it, but after getting an accurate answer, everyone was still a little unacceptable. How could this be? Lord Hokage is so powerful, how could he die so easily? Silver Tiger's eyes widened with disbelief. Damn Kumogakure, dare to kill Hokage-sama, I want to avenge Hokage-sama. A quasi-shadow roared with Yuhi's eyes. That's right, take revenge. Soon this person's proposal was approved by many people. Enough. At this moment, Naraju suddenly shouted, and the room suddenly returned to calm. I understand everyone's feelings, and I also want to avenge Hokage-sama, but we can't, at least not now. Nara Long, what do you mean? Silver Tiger asked in dissatisfaction. What do you mean? Now that Lord Hokage has fallen, our Konoha village is leaderless, so the most urgent task is to elect a new Hokage, and then we can deal with the next difficulties. I have no opinion on choosing a new Hokage, but what do you mean by difficult, Nara Long? Hyuga Masamune asked, puzzled. It's very simple. I don't think it won't take long for the news of Lord Hokage's fall to reach Iwagakure village and Sunagakure village. Do you think these 2 villages will let us recuperate? I'm afraid they will jump out at the first time. Nara said coldly for a long time. Hearing Naraju's analysis, everyone gasped. Then what should we do? Aqueniang asked. It's very simple, choose the new Hokage first, only then we at Konoha will be able to face the difficulties that come with cohesion. Everyone, let me say something, said Homura Mitokado, a disciple of Senju Tobarama. Menyan, what are you talking about? Silver Tiger asked after glancing at him. The teacher should have been prepared to sacrifice before he left, so he has arranged the successor of Hokage, that is Sarutobi. Hearing Homura Mitokado's words, everyone was stunned, and then they all looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not continue to watch the fun, but stood up directly, took a deep breath and said, yes, the teacher asked me to take his place and become the 3rd generation Hokage. Chapter 291 Crying Tsunade. Everyone didn't expect that Senju Tobarama had already made arrangements. They didn't think it was Sarutobi Hiruzen. They were lying. After all, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a disciple of Senju Tobarama and a cage-level master. Although he was younger, he has been leading people to resist the attack on the village of Iwagakure. It can be said that Sarutobi Hiruzen deserves credit for merit and strength, and the only thing worse is age, but now is a special period, age is not important. Since Hokage-sama has already made arrangements, I have no problem with the third generation of Hokage to let Sarutobi Hiruzen do it. Naraju was the first to agree. He was a Senju Tobarama person. Sarutobi Hiruzen was a disciple of Senju Tobarama, and he inherited the position of Hokage Nara. Of course Ju didn't say anything, and he was even very happy, because they were all their own. I have no opinion either. Silver Tiger also expressed his support. Then most of the others agreed. Only Shimura Danzo had a dark face. He had been peeping at Hokage's position, and now that Sarutobi Hiruzen was about to sit on the throne of Hokage, how could he be happy? But this was arranged by his teacher Senju Tobarama. Danzo also not good to say anything, just keep silent. Now things are urgent, everything is simple, don't tell the daimyo about Hokage, and the succession ceremony will be postponed for now. Everything will be simple, let's talk about it when the war is over. Now our top priority is to take advantage of the land of wind and land. When the country has not yet received the news, strengthen the defense work of the defense line, so as not to be caught off guard by them in the future. Quote. I agree with Naraju's proposal. We will discuss the matter of succession later. Now let's discuss how to deal with the upcoming attack on Iwagakure village and Sunagakure village. Seeing that even Sarutobi Hiruzen, the person involved, said so, of course the others would not object, so everyone immediately discussed the matter of war. It was not until dusk that everyone left the Hokage office. Walking out of the Hokage building, Dong Xinyao did not leave in a hurry, but found Tsunade, who was going to tell Tsunade about Senju Tobarama. Although he knew that Tsunade would definitely be hit, Dong Xinyao was not prepared to hide it. After all, this kind of thing could be hidden for a while, but it could not be hidden for a lifetime. Long-term pain is better than short-term pain. Yao, you came just in time. I just finished preparing dinner and was going to find you. Tsunade said happily after seeing Dong Xinyao. Seeing the smile on Tsunade's face, Dong Xinyao held back his words. Forget it, let's talk about it after dinner. Ta Xinyao couldn't bear to spoil Tsunade's happy mood now. Temporarily put the Senju Tobarama matter behind him, and a smile appeared on his face. Tsunade, what are you preparing for today? Guess what? Tsunade smiled and looked at Eastern God Yao Yao. Meatballs. No. Sushi. No, you have to guess. I can't guess. Dong Xinyao shook his head. Hey, today I prepared pork ribs ramen, and I deliberately boiled the soup for 5 hours. Wow, it turned out to be ramen, so what are you waiting for? Let's have dinner. Dong Xinyao said impatiently. In this way, the meal was spent in laughter, and after dinner, the two left home and wandered the streets of Konoha village. Walking on the road, after hesitating for a while, Dong Xinyao bit Kiba and made up his mind. Tsunade, I want to tell you something. I saw Dong Xinyao suddenly stopped, walked over to Tsunade and looked at him. What's the matter? It's about your second grandfather. Dong Xinyao took a deep breath. Second grandpa, what's wrong with him? Is he back today? Tsunade asked curiously. No, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others came back today, but your second grandfather didn't come back. Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others brought back a message, your second grandfather may have already. Although Ta Xinyao did not continue to speak, Tsunade already understood. Yao, are you saying that my second grandfather may be dead? Tsunade's eyes widened, and he asked excitedly. Well, I heard that Grandpa Hokage and the two masters of Kumogakure village died together. Now that he has said it, Dong Xinyao simply did not hide it at all, and just said all of it. How could this happen? How could the second grandpa die? He is so strong. Tsunade murmured to himself. Dong Xinyao hugged Tsunade directly. Cry out, just cry out. Ooh. Tsunade buried his head in Dong Shenyao's arms and cried, and soon Dong Xinyao found that the clothes on his chest were wet. Tsunade, people are always going to die, and I think Grandpa Hokage is more willing to die in battle than old age. Dong Xinyao comforted. Yao, I want revenge. Tsunade raised his head suddenly and said hatefully. Tsunade, Grandpa Hokage died with the enemy, and the person who killed him was a ninja from Kumogakure village, but he was a missing nin. Tashinya explained, he didn't want Tsunade to live in hatred. How could this be? Tsunade, I think Grandpa Hokage doesn't want to see you like this in the spirit of heaven. As long as you live well, Grandpa Hokage will be happy. Dong Shenyao enlightened Tsunade. When Tsunade woke up, it was noon the next day, and she found that she was actually in Dong Shenyao's house, but Dong Shenyao was not there. Thinking of how he actually cried and fell asleep in Dong Shenyao's arms yesterday, Tsunade's face instantly turned Yuhi. I don't know if that bad guy did anything bad last night. After getting up, Tsunade found some food and a note left by Tashinya on the table in the living room. Tsunade, I'll go first if I still have something to do. There is food on the table, remember to eat it when you get up, and I'll come back to you when I'm done. Signing, love you, Dong Shenyao. After reading the note left by Tashinya, Tsunade's heart warmed, especially the one that loves you, which made Tsunade's heart sweet, and even the sadness caused by Senju Tobarama's death was relieved a lot. Dong Shenyao went out early in the morning. Now that such a big thing has happened in the village, he also has a lot of things to do, and it will not be long before he will be on the front line again. As a quasi-cage level master, Dongshin, the pressure on Yao's shoulders was not small at this time. After coming to the Dark Blade to find everyone, Dong Shenyao directly told the news of Senju Tobarama's death. Immediately, Hyuga and the others opened their mouths. Everyone, Lord Hokage has fallen, and the villages of Sunagakure and Iwagakure will probably attack us before long, so we will have a fierce battle next. Thank you, little pig. Chapter 292 Return to the Land of Luo. Hearing the news of Senju Tobarama's fall, the members of the Dark Blade felt a sense of urgency, because after being reminded by Tashinya, they knew that the ninjas from Iwagakure and Sunagakure villages were about to attack Konoha in an all-round way. Even they had to go to the front. Of course, Tashinya was actually more worried about one thing, and that was the village of Kurigakure. The 5 kingdoms of ninja, Kumogakure village in the country of thunder is now abolished, and even Reikage is dead, but it will not pose any threat to Konoha in a short time. But Kurigakure village is different. Although Kurigakure village is isolated overseas and basically won't intervene in mainland affairs, who knows if they will fall into trouble after knowing the current situation of Konoha village. In the original book, the second generation of Mizukage and the second generation of Tsuchikage perished together, and I don't know when this happened. I really don't know how it happened. The 2 villages are so far apart that their shadows will break out into battle, and it's the same thing. After talking about Senju Tobarama, Dong Shenyao left Shadow Clone to guide everyone to practice, and he left the Dark Blade headquarters. Walking on the street, Dong Shenyao found that compared with yesterday, the atmosphere in 270 Konoha village had become much more solemn. He knew that the news of Senju Tobarama's fall had already spread. Hey, I don't know how long it will take for the battle to end. In the original book, there are very few things about the First World War, so Dong Shenyao is not clear about many things, which makes him a little irritable. Sure enough, it's not a good thing to travel too early. Thinking of this, Dong Shenyao laughed at himself. It was shaking outside, and of course when we got home, Tsunade had already left, and the food on the table was gone, apparently eaten by Tsunade, but there was a note on the table that Tsunade had left. Yo, I went back first, I'm fine now, don't worry. And I'll be on a mission with Orochimaru and the others, so you don't need to look for me. Sign, love you Tsunade. Reading Tsunade's note, Dong Shenyao knew that Senju Tobarama's death had touched Tsunade quite a bit, and the reason why he took the initiative to ask Orochimaru and the others to carry out the mission was probably to cultivate heart and become stronger quickly. Did not go to Tsunade again, and 3 days later, the 2 teams set off from Konoha village at the same time. Both teams are made up of thousands of ninjas, and each team has at least 1 cage-level master and several quasi-shadow leaders. 2 teams walked in different directions after leaving the village of Konoha. One team headed straight to the northwest, while the other team headed southwest. Dong Shenyao was also in the team. Not only him, but the entire Dark Blade came. No way. In order to resist the large-scale attack of the two villages, Konoha village also made a lot of money. 2 days later, Dong Shenyao followed the team to Luozhiguo. I didn't expect to come back here again. After entering the camp, Dong Shenyao was filled with emotion. Although only 3 or 4 months had passed, Dong Shenyao felt as if several years had passed. It is because Dong Shenyao has experienced too many things during this period of time, which is why he has this illusion. When I came to the camp again, just like the last time, a group of high-level leaders of the camp gathered together to discuss the distribution of reinforcements. Sitting in this familiar tent once again, Dong Shenyao's identity has changed. The last time he could only sit behind Kai Uehara, only to listen, but not qualified to speak. But this time, he can already be on an equal footing with Uehara-chi, and he has gained the right to speak. Commander, we don't need to assign our dark blades, we will act alone. No problem. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not object to Tashinyao's proposal. After all, the dark blade originally belonged to Anbu, and it stands to reason that only Hokage has the right to deploy. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen is the successor of Hokage, but because the ceremony has not yet been held, and the name of the country of fire has not been informed, Sarutobi Hiruzen can only be regarded as the agent of Hokage, plus the fighting power of Dongshin Yaojun cage level, so he cannot directly mobilize Dong Shenyao. Some things still need to be discussed with Dong Shenyao. After dealing with the Dark Blade, Sarutobi Hiruzen began to assign other ninjas. Of course, Dong Shenyao would not miss such a good opportunity. Now that the number of Dark Blades is too small, it is the time when expansion is needed. Of course, Dong Shenyao has to pull some ninjas into the Dark Blades. If it was before, Dong Shenyao would not have done this. After all, it is difficult for the ninjas who were recruited temporarily to ensure their loyalty, but now, Dong Shenyao has a way to solve this problem. In the end, Dong Shenyao selected 10 Jonins as supplementary powers for the Dark Blade. After allocating ninjas, everyone discussed some things and then left. Leaving the tent, Dong Shenyao first found Hyuga and the others, and then took everyone to the camp arranged by Sarutobi Hiruzen for the Dark Blade. As for the 10 newly added Jonins, Dong Shenyao was not in a hurry to find them. After returning to the camp to arrange accommodation for everyone, Dong Shenyao explained the tasks of the 10 ninjas and the Dark Blade. Tomorrow, 10 new recruits will join our Dark Blade, and you will entertain them when the time comes. Also, our Dark Blade will not act with the large army in the future. Our task is to enter the enemy's rear and destroy it, so the task is arduous, everyone must be careful. Quote. Captain, when will we start the mission? My hands are itchy, Kudo-jun said impatiently. You Kid Jing is thinking about fighting. Now you are an elite Chunin. You can only fight against the special Jonin with secret techniques. If you go to the land of the earth, you may not want to come back alive. Dong Shenyao struck. Captain, are you not going to take me there? Kudo-jun said with a sad face. HMPH, I will arrange other tasks for you Chunin. As for going to the land of the earth, at worst, only those who fight with Jonin can go, otherwise it will be useless. Dong Shenyao said unceremoniously. He didn't show mercy because of his relationship with Kudo-shun. Hearing this, Kimura Fumino and other ninjas who had not yet reached Jonin's combat power suddenly changed their faces, but they also knew that Dong Shenyao arranged this for their own good, so they could only obey. After simply finishing the task, Dong Shenyao announced the dissolution of the free activity. The next day, Dong Shenyao brought back the 10 newly added Jonins. With the addition of 10 Jonins at once, the strength of the Dark Blade has also been enhanced a lot. If you don't count Dong Shenyao before, the combined strength of the entire Dark Blade is probably about the same as these 10 Jonins. Chapter 293 Strong Iwagakure. Not long after Dong Shenyao and others arrived at the Lujiguo camp, they received news that Tsuchikage, the second generation of Iwagakure village, had personally led the team to the front line. After getting this news, everyone knew that Iwagakure should have received the news of Senju Tobarama's fall. Seeing that Iwagakure's attack was about to start, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others hurriedly accelerated the arrangement. Luo Ren village has been destroyed. At this time, the country of Luo has completely become a battlefield between the two countries. Sarutobi Hiruzen sent people to take over all the villages and towns near the camp to prevent these villages and towns from being occupied by Iwagakure and form a siege of the Konoha village camp. 2 days later, news came that the second-generation Tsuchikage finally arrived on the battlefield, along with thousands of Iwagakure reinforcements. After hearing this news, everyone immediately became vigilant. What they were worried about was not only Tsuchikage and the thousands of reinforcements, but also the new expert from Iwagakure village. Although the two countries were at war before, they were still restrained, and Iwagakure village did not send all the strong to the front line. But now Senju Tobarama has fallen. From Tsuchikage's point of view, Konoha village is headless, and its strength must be greatly reduced. It is a good time to destroy Konoha village, so I brought most of the high-end combat power of the entire village and prepared to defeat Konoha in one fell swoop. The army, and then drove straight into the country of fire. No one knows how many strong players there are in Iwagakure village, but it is only on the surface. There are 3 cage level masters and 8 or 9 quasi-cage level masters. Although the war has started, 2 quasi-cage level masters have died in Iwagakure village. But there are still 6 or 7 people in the remaining quasi-shadows. And everyone knows that this is definitely not all of Iwagakure's strength. A village, especially a big ninja village like Iwagakure, can't have all the strengths on the bright side. Just like the same situation in Konoha village, it seems to outsiders that there are only 6 or 7 cage level masters in Konoha village, but in fact Dong Shenyao knows that there are at least 8 cage level masters in Konoha village. But now that Senju Tobarama has fallen, the impact on Konoha village is still great. Because cage level powerhouses are also graded, Senju Tobarama is at least a complete cage level powerhouse, and may even have reached super cage level. It is precisely because he is in charge of the village that other villages dare not start a full-scale war with Konoha village. Now that Senju Tobarama is dead, Konoha village has lost such a supermaster. Although there are many cage-level powerhouses, none of them can compare to Senju Tobarama. And Tsuchikage of Iwagakure village, although its combat power is not as good as Senju Tobarama, but as a village shadow, I am afraid that it has the strength of cage-level peak. This kind of character is comparable to 2 or 3 late cage-level masters. If it's just one Iwagakure village, it's fine. With Konoha's background, it can still handle it. The key is that now Konoha is fighting 2 villages, Iwagakure village and Sunagakure village at the same time, which makes Konoha village a little stretched. Because there are many cage level masters in Konoha village, but there is a lack of peak level existence. The current Sarutobi Hiruzen has not fully grown up yet, so he is a little young, and it would be good to have a late stage of cage level. On the 3rd day after the second generation Tsuchikage arrived at the front line, the Great War broke out, and the village of Iwagakure launched an all-out attack directly on the village of Konoha. In this regard, Sarutobi Hiruzen can only choose to defend, relying on the advantages of the camp to resist the attack of Iwagakure village. While Iwagakure attacked the Konoha camp, they did not forget to divide their forces to attack the surrounding villages and towns. They also knew that with Konoha's strength, it would be difficult to defeat them all at once. So Tsuchikage had decided to surround the Konoha camp, cut off their supplies, and slowly die. Lord Commander, there were letters of distress from the surrounding villages and towns. They were all attacked by Iwagakure, and Iwagakure was attacking so fiercely that they couldn't stop it. After speaking, the messenger hurriedly handed the letter to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Damn, Iwagakure is not giving us a way out. Sarutobi Hiruzen was furious. Commander, is not the time to be angry. The most urgent thing is to think about what to do. These villages and towns cannot be lost, at least not all of them, otherwise we will be in danger. Nara Jawei reminded. I know that there are 4 towns around our camp now. With our strength, We can't hold all of these 4 towns. We can only hold 2 at most. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the map and said. Let's keep these 2. They are behind our camp and are close to the supply line. Once we lose our supply, they will not be able to keep it. Nara Jawei analyzed. Okay, just these 2 towns. But now we are too short on staff. Who should we send to support? Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little worried. Let's leave it to the Dark Blade. Dong Shenyao's strength is comparable to the peak. Feng Zuniang, the Dark Blade is also good. They should be able to keep these 2 towns. After all, Iwagakure can't divide too much power to deal with these 2 towns. Quote. Okay, just do as you said. Sarutobi Hiruzen directly agreed with Nara Jawei's proposal. Soon Dong Shenyao was found. Dong Shenyao, now there is a task to be handed over to you, Dark Blade. This task can only be successful, not allowed to fail. Sarutobi Hiruzen said solemnly. Yes. Dong Shenyao swears to complete the mission. Very well, your mission is to protect these 2 towns with the Dark Blade, and don't let them be occupied by the village of Iwagakure. Now the time is urgent, you go quickly. Hearing that, Dong Shenyao didn't say anything, and left with the map. After returning to the camp, Dong Shenyao summoned the Dark Blades immediately. At this time, the number of members of the Dark Blade has reached more than 20, although there are not many, but the presence of the quasi-shadow of Dong Shenyao makes the Dark Blade become a strong force. The situation is urgent, we will leave now, and I will tell you the specific tasks on the way. After that, Dong Shenyao immediately set off and rushed out of the camp, and the others quickly followed. Because he had to take care of his subordinates, he was suspicious of Dong Shenyao's slow speed. Of course, this unhappiness was only relative to Zuniang, so for Chunin, and even Jonin in particular, this speed was already their limit. As they were on their way, Dong Shenyao explained their mission. This mission is very dangerous, everyone, be prepared to sacrifice. Dong Shenyao said in a solemn tone. For the sake of the village, die without regrets. A Jonin said with awe, without a trace of fear on his face. You are very good. Of course, although Dong Shenyao praised him, he had already decided in his heart that if this Jonin survived this mission, he must brainwash this Jonin in the future. Chapter 294 War begins. Not long after Dong Shenyao left the camp with his subordinates, the war broke out, and a large number of Iwagakure gathered outside the stop and started to attack. The Konoha village ninja also began to resist Iwagakure's attack under the leadership of Sarutobi Hiruzen. A large number of ninjutsu flew through the sky, collided with each other, and the deafening roar came out for several miles away. After turning his head slightly to look at the direction of the camp, Dong Shenyao couldn't help but speed up slightly. At this time, Dong Shenyao was going to a village and town more than 10 miles behind the camp, which was the closest village to the camp. Just when Dong Shenyao left the camp, he picked up a new quest that appeared in the system. The journey of more than 10 miles was quickly crossed by everyone, but in about 10 minutes, the group had already approached the town, but before they could get in, they were already able to stand up to the battle that took place in the town. From time to time, some flames or thunder lights rose from the town, and it was obvious that the 2 sides had already fought. Hurry up, I'll go first. After explaining, Dong Shenyao accelerated and rushed straight to the town. Without the drag, Dong Shenyao's speed was very fast, but within a few seconds he had already entered the town. As soon as he entered, Dong Shenyao immediately saw 3 people fighting, one of whom was a Konoha ninja, who was fighting 1 against 2 at this time, clearly at a disadvantage. The cold light was cold, and the shadow-chopping saber appeared in Dong Shenyao's hand. Kill! Dong Shenyao burst out in his heart, and in an instant he was close to the 3 people in the battle. PFF'd. A stream of blood spurted out, and at the same time a head flew up. I saw an Iwagakure who was fighting suddenly stopped, and his head disappeared at some point. What? After seeing the abnormality of his companion, the other Iwagakure turned his head to look, and the scene he saw directly scared him, and before he could react, the shadow-chopping saber had already stabbed into his heart. Puff! After pulling out the Shadow Slayer, Iwagakure's body fell to the ground. "Thank you for your help," the Konoha ninja said gratefully. "No thanks, be careful yourself." After reminding him, Dong Shenyao didn't stop, and went straight to the inside of the town. Who killed two elite Chunin's strength at random, was not even a warm-up. Dong Shenyao had used Byakugan to observe the whole town. At this time, the whole town had become a battlefield. Iwagakure and Konoha ninjas were scattered all over the town, fighting, but overall Iwagakure has the upper hand as there are more Iwagakure than Konoha ninjas. But what really caught the attention of Dong Shenyao were the 3 Iwagakure with elite Jonin rank. Konoha ninja guards in this town. There is only 1 elite Jonin, but there are 3 Iwagakure. At this time, the elite Jonin of Konoha is very embarrassed and injured. If there are 2 Jonin to help, I am afraid he has already died. When Dong Shenyao felt the center of the town, 1 Jonin was dead and the other was seriously injured. Without assistance, Konoha's elite Jonin would not be able to live long. Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign. Seeing that an Iwagakure was about to kill the seriously wounded Konoha Jonin, Dong Shenyao hurriedly shot. A powerful repulsion force was sent out, and the unprepared Iwagakure was directly knocked out. "Damn, the kid dares to do bad things for me, watch me kill you." With a roar, the name Iwagakure went straight to Dong Shenyao and killed him. The name Iwagakure is an elite Jonin, and it seems to him that the age of Dong Shenyao cannot be his opponent. Although he was just knocked away by Dong Shenyao, in his opinion, this is entirely because of his carelessness. So at this time, the eyes that looked at Dong Shenyao were full of contempt. Iwagakure waved the kunai in his hand and stabbed Tashinya in the heart. After exchanging the immortal body, Dong Shenyao's strength increased a lot. In addition, Dong Shenyao added gravity to the Shadow Slasher, so this blow directly forced Iwagakure back, and then Tashinyao's thoughts moved, and a large number of soil thorns instantly appeared on the ground under Iwagakure's feet. Not good. Iwagakure hurriedly avoided the soil thorns. He was a little confused as to where these soil thorns came from. "Because I didn't see the Tashinyao hand seal, I didn't think that this skill was used by Tashinyao. Are there other people around?" Iwagakure suddenly became wary. "Lord of the Earth." Boom. A rock giant stood up from the ground, and under Iwagakure's horrified eyes, he punched out. Boom. The huge fist directly bombarded this Iwagakure. At this time, Iwagakure only felt that his internal organs were displaced. It was not that he did not want to dodge, but when he was about to dodge, the sudden increase of gravity around him made him suddenly stop. That's why he was punched by the rock giant. Just one punch, Iwagakure was severely damaged, and then the rock giant took hold and stomped Iwagakure under his feet. PFF'd. Blood splattered, and this Iwagakure was directly trampled into flesh. Chan. Really? Seeing that their companions were killed, the remaining 2 Iwagakure could not help but let out a mournful cry, and at the same time looked at Dong Shenyao with hatred. "Want to take revenge? It's a pity that you can't do it." With a sneer, Dong Shenyao didn't mean to stop. "Go back, these 2 are handed over to me." After greeting the Konoha ninja, Tashinyao directly joined the fight and stopped the 2 Iwagakure. "Go and support the others, leave these 2 Iwagakure to me," Tashinyao shouted while attacking the 2 Iwagakure. "Got it." Seeing that Dong Shenyao still had the upper hand with 1 enemy and 2, the Konoha ninja was not hypocritical and left directly. "Boy, I'm going to kill you for revenge." An Iwagakure growled. "Can you do it?" Ambush. Whoosh whoosh. No one else got in the way. Dong Shenyao directly used a wide range of skills, and at the same time expanded the field of gravity again. What's going on? How come the body 1.4 has become heavier, and the pressure is so great? The 2 Iwagakure panicked. Dong Shenyao can kill even Zunying, let alone 2 elite Jonin. In less than 3 minutes, one of the 2 elite Jonin was split into 2 pieces by Dong Shenyao, and the other was shot to death by the rock giant. At this point, the elite Jonin on the Iwagakure side in the town was completely wiped out. Without the elite Jonin, There are still some Jonin in the remaining Iwagakure, but they can't make too much waves. More than 10 minutes later, Dong Shenyao again beheaded a Jonin from Iwagakure village. This was the 8th Jonin from Iwagakure village who had died in his hands so far, and Hyuga and the others had already arrived. In battle. Seeing that the battle situation has stabilized, it is only a matter of time before Konoha wins, and Ta Shenyao is ready to leave. Chapter 295 Another quasi-film. Hyuga and the others who were still fighting in the town. Quickly helping his subordinates to kill Iwagakure, Dong Shenyao explained, I will leave to support another town first, and I will leave it to you here. After speaking, Dong Shenyao flew towards the distance regardless of his subordinates' reaction. Really leave, Kudo Shun muttered in a low voice. Okay, the captain is also in a hurry. Let's not talk about other things, let's end the battle quickly. Sato Yuan Lang reminded. After leaving the town, Dong Shenyao galloped all the way towards another town. The second town that Sarutobi Hiruzen asked Dong Shenyao to protect was farther from the main camp, more than 40 miles away, and the town where Dong Shenyao was at this time was also more than 30 miles away. Along the way, Dong Shenyao flew directly, and under full speed, Dong Shenyao arrived at his destination in just over 10 minutes. When he came to the vicinity of the town, he only saw thick smoke rising from the town, and it was obvious that the town was on fire. Not good. Dong Shenyao knew that the situation here at 15 was probably even worse. Byakugan looked into the town. Dong Shenyao's face was a little ugly, because he found that the Konoha ninjas in the town were almost killed, and the Konoha ninjas who were still alive at this time were trapped in a yard. That is. Dong Shenyao suddenly saw a person. This is an Iwagakure, and Dong Shenyao saw a very large number of chakras in this person's body. Zuniang, there is actually a quasi-yin here. Dong Shenyao was a little surprised. He didn't expect that Iwagakure would pay such a large amount of money that he even dispatched Zuniang. It seems that Iwagakure is really going to eat us, but this time their plan is probably going to fail. Ta Shenyao thought to himself, if it was cage level, he would just turn around and leave now, but it's just a quasi-image. Dong Shenyao is not afraid. Because the Konoha ninjas were already besieged, there was no fighting outside the town, but there were many collapsed buildings and many people were crying. Dong Shenyao had seen this situation a lot, so he didn't care. Soon, Ta Shenyao had approached the yard where the Konoha ninjas were besieged. Without any hesitation, Dong Shenyao raised his hand directly. Meteorites fall. Boom. The meteorite with a diameter of more than 10 meters condensed in the sky, and then went straight to the bottom and fell. Not good. Notice the meteorite falling from the sky. Iwagakure was a little scared. Look at me. Iwagakure village Junkage who had discovered so Iwagakure before shouted, and quickly hand sealed with both hands, but at this moment, Ta Shenyao's attack came again. Gravity space. The earth is shaking. House of Flying Daggers. After using 3 large-scale skills in a row, Dong Shenyao gasped slightly, and at the same time his internal strength and chakra decreased a lot. Ah! The screams sounded, and some weak Iwagakure were directly pierced by the soil thorns, and the ground was covered with blood for a while. That Quenying didn't have time to take care of this at this time, because he still had to deal with the meteorites in the sky. Kaden Fire Style Vulcan. Woo! With a mouth, a large amount of flames spewed out. These flames condensed into a big gun in front of Iwagakure, and went straight to the meteorite in the sky. Boom! The long flame gun bombarded the meteorite, the explosion sounded, and there was a stream of dust and smoke in the sky, followed by a large number of broken stones falling, and some unlucky Iwagakure were hit. However, because the stone is not large, it is not life-threatening. Although the quasi-shadow of Iwagakure village neutralized the attack of the meteorite, the 3 previous skills of Ta Shenyao had brought huge losses to Iwagakure. Due to the gravity space, the speed of Iwagakure was greatly affected. Coupled with the violent shaking of the ground, many Iwagakure stood unsteadily and fell to the ground. Facing the large number of soil thorns that finally emerged from the ground, it was impossible to dodge, all Chunin-level Iwagakure within the attack range did not survive, and even many Iwagakure with special Jonin strength died. There were even a few Jonin who were unlucky and were killed by earth stabbing. Seeing that the loss was so great that hundreds of Iwagakure died in one fell swoop, the quasi-shadow of Iwagakure village was furious. Who is it? Who is it? It's me. Dong Shenyao walked out without hiding. Konoha village. Very good. I didn't expect you to have the courage to come out. Today I will make you not survive, but die. Quennying from Iwagakure village glared at the eastern god and Yao Ed. Hee, can you do it? Dong Shenyao said disdainfully. Damn, give me death. Doden Earth Style Earth Dragon Bullet. Boom. A soil dragon rose up and spit out stone bullets at Dong Shenyao. There was no movement from Dong Shenyao, and a stone wall rose up in front of him, directly blocking the stone bullets. However, it only blocked a few. After 5 stone bullets, the stone wall cracked, but Dong Shenyao had disappeared. What about people? Iwagakure village Junkage hurriedly looked for it. Be careful behind you, my lord. Iwagakure suddenly reminded. It turned out that Tashinya suddenly appeared from behind Iwagakure. PFF'd. Although he dodged, the Iwagakure was still slashed on the back by the shadow-cutting knife, and blood flowed out of the wound. The quasi-shadow is only 450. Dong Shenyao pouted slightly, looking a little disdainful. Kill. This time, Iwagakure didn't talk nonsense with Tashinya. After a loud shout, he quickly hand-sealed with both hands. Doden Earth Style Rip the Earth. Bang. Iwagakure slapped the ground, and the ground suddenly cracked, and several cracks invaded towards Dong Shenyao. Seeing this, Dong Shenyao did not dodge, but raised his foot and stomped the ground lightly, and then Iwagakure saw a scene that shocked him. The earth fissure suddenly stopped when it was close to Dong Shenyao, and then the fissure began to spread in the opposite direction, and soon the ground under Iwagakure's feet was cracked. Iwagakure had to jump up, and he was puzzled at this time, not knowing how such a thing could happen to his ninjutsu. But how would he know that Dong Shenyao's earth blood is the nemesis of all Doden, earth-style ninjutsu? Whoosh! Seeing Iwagakure jumping up, Tashinya rushed straight to Iwagakure. When the symphony of gold and iron sounded, and the shadow-chopping saber and kunai collided. Dang dang dang! The sparks splashed all over the place, and Dong Shenyao and the two fought to one place. At this time, Dong Shenyao had already opened the field of gravity. Under the action of gravity, Iwagakure's movements were affected. Therefore, after the close battle with Dong Shenyao, he was suppressed everywhere. He knew that this could not continue, and he had to stay away from Dong Shenyao. Chapter 296 Win. This Iwagakure village Junkage wanted to stay away from Tashinya, but how could Tashinya allow it, and directly used all his strength to entangle Iwagakure. Dong Shenyao and the two fought very fast, and Iwagakure around could not intervene if they wanted to. Originally, in a quasi-cage level battle, Elite Jonin was still somewhat useful, but now Dong Shenyao has a gravitational field around him, and Elite Jonin the speed of entering the field has been greatly reduced, and at that time, there will only be an instant kill by Dong Shenyao, so now the Elite Jonin can only watch the battle from the sidelines. Bang! When Tashinya slashed Iwagakure into two pieces, a cloud of smoke erupted from the Iwagakure's body, and then turned into two pieces of broken wood. It's a substitute technique. When Dong Shenyao found that even though he had turned on Sharingan, he didn't even know when Iwagakure used the substitute technique. As expected of a quasi-shadow, it really isn't easy. Although more than one Zunying has been killed, Dong Shenyao has never underestimated Zunying. Because when Dong Shenyao killed Zunying before, it was done in a favorable environment for him, otherwise it would be very difficult to kill a Zunying. I've finally left you, and now is your doom. At this time, Iwagakure appeared hundreds of meters away from Dong Shenyao, with a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Kaden Fire Style Phoenix Sage Fire Technique. Although I don't know the reason, Iwagakure has already noticed that Doden, Earth Style ninjutsu has no effect on Tashinya, so this time he chose to use Kaden Fire Style. Groups of flames shot at Dong Shenyao very fast. Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign. The repulsive force was issued, directly repelling the fireball, and then Dong Shenyao raised his head. Finger piercing. Whoosh whoosh. A stone bullet was fired at Iwagakure with great speed. Bang, bang, bang. An instant, Iwagakure was pierced by a stone bullet, and his body became a hornet's nest, but Dong Shenyao was not happy. Sure enough, the next moment Iwagakure's body had turned into a puddle of mud. Kaden, fire style, Vulcan. I don't know when Iwagakure appeared behind Tashinyao, and a long flame gun quickly shot at Tashinyao. Boom. Did you succeed? Iwagakure narrowed his eyes slightly when he saw that Dong Shenyao was shot by the flames. Through the battle, he already knew that Dong Shenyao also had quasi-cage level strength, so he was not sure about his attack. Does it work? Soon the smoke dissipated, and Iwagakure hurriedly watched carefully, but only saw a big pit, but Dong Shenyao disappeared. Did he run away, or was he burned to ashes? Iwagakure, who was a little tired at this time, became slightly alert. Bang! Suddenly Tashinyao emerged from the ground under Iwagakure's feet, and it was on top of his head. Tashinyao kicked Iwagakure's chin, and the huge force actually kicked Iwagakure into the sky. Whoosh! Dong Shenyao exerted force under his feet, his body rose into the air, and he quickly caught up with Iwagakure who was in midair. Bang! With a punch, it hit Iwagakure's stomach directly. The huge force made Iwagakure's face change, and then a mouthful of blood spurted out. In the end, Tashinyao disappeared again, and the next moment he had come to the top of Iwagakure. Go to hell! Bang! Rocky right leg slapped Iwagakure hard. Whoosh! Iwagakure suddenly fell towards the ground like a shooting star. Boom! Finally, when Iwagakure smashed to the ground, a puff of dust was raised, but it didn't stop. Meteorites fall. Dong Shenyao once again condensed a huge meteorite and smashed it downward. Not good. The adults are in danger. At this time the other Iwagakure were in a hurry. Kaden, fire style, great fireball art. Raiden, thunder style, false darkness. Many Iwagakure attacked the meteorites one after another, trying to save their adults. Boom. More than 30 Iwagakure. The meteorite cracked, but it turned into a lot of huge rock fragments and fell down. Boom, boom, boom. The last piece of rock smashed to the ground, sending up another puff of smoke. It ran away. Relying on Byakugan Dong Shenyao to discover that Iwagakure had dug a hole and ran away. Dong Shenyao didn't go after him, because he didn't have a battlefield now, so he couldn't keep a quasi-shadow. Junying has run away, you all stay here. Dong Shenyao turned slightly to look at the 30 or so Iwagakure who survived. To be more than 150 Iwagakure people before, but Dong Shenyao killed hundreds of them all at once, so there are only so many left now. But most of these people are Jonin, and there are even 2 elite Jonin. Meteorites fall. Doden, Earth style, 10 dragons. Dragons rose from the ground and went straight to the Iwagakure to bombard them. Boom. More than 10 minutes later, the battle was over, and the remaining Iwagakure were all dead, and none of them could run. When the battle was over, Dong Shenyao stood outside the yard and shouted, "Well, Iwagakure has been solved, you come out." After shouting, there was no movement in the courtyard for a long time. After a while, Dong Shenyao saw a head protruding from the courtyard wall. It's over, it's over. When the man saw the situation outside clearly, he immediately shouted. Then, as soon as the gate of the courtyard opened, more than 20 ninjas from Konoha village came out. Most of these people were wounded. I'm Dong Shenyao, and the commander sent me to rescue you. I have seen Lord Dong Shenyao, thank you for saving us. Everyone said gratefully. Are you the only ones left in town now? Well, everyone else was killed by Iwagakure, and they had a quasi-shadow, so I couldn't stop it at all, a Konoha ninja said in a gloomy voice. You guys are injured, so take care of your injuries first. I don't think Iwagakure village will come back for the time being. Sir, Do you know what's going on in the camp? I don't know either. The battle had just started when I left. Dong Shenyao shook his head and said. After the two sides chatted for a while, the Konoha ninjas left to heal, while Tashinyao stayed and started cleaning the battlefield. Of course, it was very easy for him to clean the battlefield, and he just buried everything. After packing up, Dong Shenyao separated a shadow clone and rushed back to the previous town to check the situation. The reason why he didn't leave Shadow Clone just now is because Shadow Clone consumes a lot, and there will be battles in the future, so Dong Shenyao dare not waste chakra. Now that the battle is over, of course there is no problem. At the same time, Dong Shenyao also sent a Shadow Clone back to the main camp to report the situation, and at the same time asked Sarutobi Hiruzen for the next task. Although Shadow Clone is not as powerful as Dong Shenyao, its speed is not slow. Soon Dong Shenyao received the message from the first Shadow Clone. Everything was fine in the last town, and the battle was over at this time. Chapter 297 Half-Year Growth. From Shadow Clone, Dong Shenyao was also relieved. After all, Kudo-jun and the others are the only direct subordinates of Dong Shenyao now. If something happens to them, then Dong Shenyao will have to pay a higher price if he wants to establish a dark blade. Shadow Clone of Dong Shenyao returned to the main camp. He found that a particularly fierce battle had broken out here. However, due to the desperate resistance of the Konoha ninjas, Iwagakure village did not break through the camp. At this time, Iwagakure village continued to attack the defense of the camp, while the Konoha ninjas resisted and guarded the camp with all their might. Relying on the defensive measures of the camp, Konoha village blocked Iwagakure's attack at this time. Of course, this is also because Iwagakure's high-end combat power has not yet been shot. Back at the camp, Tashinyao found Sarutobi Hiruzen on the front line. Commander, the mission has been completed and both towns have been saved, but I met the quasi-shadow of Iwagakure village in the second town. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned upon hearing Tashinyao's report. It seems that the village of Iwagakure is really determined to win these towns, and even sent a quasi-shadow. Fortunately, I sent Dong Shenyao, otherwise this mission would have failed. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little fortunate. As the agent of Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen 633 has a very good understanding of Dong Shenyao's record, so in his opinion, Dong Shenyao can be called the first person under cage level. After all, even silver is such a pinnacle. Zuniing all died in the hands of Dong Shenyao. This record alone is enough to establish Dong Shenyao's prestige among Zuniing. Yao, these two towns are very important to us, and the camp can still hold on now, so you don't want to come back for the time being. You must guard these two towns, and don't let them be taken away by Iwagakure village. Sarutobi Hiruzen very solemnly instructed. Don't worry, Commander, even if I take my life, Iwagakure will not let the village of Iwagakure get these two towns. Because the battle was still going on, there was no telling when the experts from Iwagakure village would take action, so Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't have much time to talk to Tashinyao here. After explaining the matter, he continued to focus on the battlefield. After getting the instructions, Shadow Clone automatically released himself, and Dong Shenyao got Shadow Clone's memory immediately. It's true that I was asked to stay here. Dong Shenyao shook his head helplessly. Although guarding these two towns seems relatively easy, Dong Shenyao doesn't like it. If he can, he would prefer to kill the enemy on the battlefield, because then he can get more magic points. Iwagakure who attacked these two towns before, but it made Dong Shenyao a lot of money. There are 5 elite Jonins who died in the hands of Dong Shenyao. Together, these 5 people gave Dong Shenyao 15,000 god-making points, plus the other Jonins and special Jonins, etc. Let Dong Shenyao have tens of thousands of god-making points to be credited. Moreover, after guarding these two towns, the task that Dong Shenyao had received before was considered completed, which allowed him to once again receive the reward of 6,000 god creation points. Originally, after exchanging Mangekyo Sharingan, Dong Shenyao had only a few thousand points left, but now it has increased to more than 60,000. So many points are enough for Dong Shenyao to exchange for perfect Uchiha. Blood. According to the system, after obtaining the perfect Uchiha bloodline, Dong Shenyao's Mangekyo Sharingan can directly evolve into Eternal Mangekyo. However, for this Dong Shenyao, he was not in a hurry to exchange it. After all, he had just acquired Mangekyo, and he was not yet proficient in using it. There was no need to upgrade to Eternal Mangekyo immediately. This battle did not end until after dark, and the final result obtained by Ta Shenyao was that the Konoha ninja had a hard time defending the camp. However, what surprised Ta Shenyao was that the Quasi-Shadow and Cage-level masters in Iwagakure village didn't make a move today. Forget it, these are all headaches for Sarutobi Hiruzen. I think so much about what to do. Now all I have to do is to defend these two towns. Thinking of this, Dong Shenyao shook his head and didn't care about other things. Next, due to Sarutobi Hiruzen's orders, Dong Shenyao stayed directly in these two towns. Of course, Sarutobi Hiruzen sent some ninjas to assist Dong Shenyao. The battle this time was extremely fierce, and battles would take place on both sides every day, sometimes in full-scale attacks, and sometimes in small-scale battles. The Iwagakure side did not forget the two towns guarded by Dong Shenyao, and sent people to attack several times, but in the end they were blocked by Dong Shenyao. There was even a time when Iwagakure sent two Quasi-Shadows to deal with Ta Shenyao, but Ta Shenyao was able to defeat one enemy and two. In the end, after opening the 8 inner gates, he directly defeated the two of them, but Ta Shenyao also there is no strength to keep them. After this battle, Dong Shenyao became completely famous, and not only in Konoha village, but even the masters of Iwagakure village knew him. After all, he defeated two Quasi-Shadows at the same time, so his record was close to that of Cage-level masters. The name of the first person under the Cage level of Dong Shenyao was completely spread, and even people in other villages heard about it. And what about Dong Shenyao? But he didn't care about the outside world. When Iwagakure attacked the town, Dong Shenyao would take action, and when he was fine, he was in retreat. The repeated battles made Dong Shenyao gain a lot, not to mention the increase in the creation of the gods. The battles also made Dong Shenyao's strength rapidly increase. Whether it is the cultivation of Yi Jin Jing, or the extraction of chakra, there has been obvious progress. In the 4th month of coming to the front line, Ta Shenyao encountered a crisis. Iwagakure actually sent a Cage-level master to deal with Ta Shenyao. Yidong Shenyao's strength is not afraid of Cage-level masters. Although he can't beat him, he can still hold him back. This battle against Dong Shenyao was extremely difficult, but in the end, two towns were saved. After dark, the Cage-level masters of Iwagakure village saw that they could not defeat Dong Shenyao, so they had no choice but to retreat, and Dong Shenyao had no choice but to retreat. After returning home, he immediately began to retreat and cultivate. 3 days later, when Dong Shenyao left the customs, there was a smile on his face that he couldn't hide. The previous fierce battle allowed Dong Shenyao's chakra to finally break through. At this time, Dong Shenyao had become an elite Jonin-level ninja. For the next 2 months, Dong Shenyao was idle. Because Iwagakure village saw that even the Cage-level experts could not take down these two towns, so they could only give up directly. After all, their main experience was still in the Konoha camp, and it was impossible to use too many troops to deal with Dong Shenyao. At this time, it has been half a year since Dong Shenyao arrived at the front line. This day, Dong Shenyao was practicing as usual, but suddenly received a message from Sarutobi Hiruzen. Chapter 298 Negotiate. I was told to go back. Looking at the letter in his hand, Dong Shenyao frowned. He didn't expect Sarutobi Hiruzen to let him go back to the camp. You must know that Sarutobi Hiruzen has not contacted him much in the past 6 months, and this contact is to let him go back. Could it be that something happened? Forget it, go back and have a look. Thinking of this, Dong Shenyao got up and walked out of the room. It was time to return to the main camp, so Dong Shenyao naturally wanted to explain some things. Although Iwagakure has not attacked in the past 2 months, Ta Shenyao still needs to prepare. Soon the members of the Dark Blade were called up. However, compared with before, the members of Dark Blade are now a few less. There is no way. Such a fierce battle. How is it possible not to die? And even sometimes Dong Shenyao is too busy to take care of himself and has no energy to protect them. In the past 6 months, 6 people have died, which is already too few, so Dong Shenyao can also accept it. Moreover, the strength of the surviving dark blades has increased greatly. Especially the Hyuga family, who was originally the most powerful among the dark blades except Dong Shenyao, and now has reached the elite Jonin. Others have also made progress. Among them, Kudo-jun and Kimura Fumino have also made great progress. At this time, they have reached the special Jonin. With some secret techniques given to them by Dong Shenyao, even if they encounter Jonin, they have the strength to fight. At this time, the weakest in the Dark Blade also has the strength of special Jonin. It can be said that the Dark Blade has really grown up at this time and is worthy of the level of the Anbu Brigade. Why did the captain find us all today? Kimura Fumino asked curiously. Before, Dong Shenyao was busy cultivating every day. Most of the time, Shadow Clone was outside, and he was always instructing them. They were rarely called together for a meeting. The commander just sent me a letter asking me to go back to the main camp. When I'm not here, you should be more alert and be careful. It's the captain. After explaining some defensive issues, Dong Shenyao separated a shadow clone to stay in the camp, and then left directly. But after more than 20 minutes, Dong Shenyao came to the main camp. As soon as he entered, Dong Shenyao couldn't help but be stunned, because he found that the big camp had changed a lot after not coming back for half a year. Originally, there was a lot of people in the camp. Thousands of people were here, and people could often see people coming and going in the camp. But now, at a glance, you can see a lot of empty tents, and there are many fewer people. And at this time, many of the ninjas walking in the camp were injured. Hey, it seems that a lot of people have died in the camp in the past 6 months. After sighing, Dong Shenyao directly found Sarutobi Hiruzen. Because Iwagakure did not launch a large-scale battle today, Sarutobi Hiruzen was staying in the tent at this time. After Dong Shenyao went in, he found that there were still some people here. These people smelled blood all over their bodies. They were obviously battle-hardened people, and there were many new faces among these people, and some old faces were missing. East Shenyao, you're back. Meet the commander. After the two said hello, Dong Shenyao found a place to sit down. Okay, everyone is here now. Dong Shenyao has not been in the camp for the past 6 months. Let me first introduce the current situation of the camp. Speaking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen paused for a while, and then continued. Originally, there were more than 4,700 ninjas in our camp, including more than 700 Jonin, 46 elite Jonin, and 12 quasi-shadow. Cage-level trio. After half a year of fighting, we have more than 2,300 Genins left, including more than 400 Jonin, 28 elite Jonin, 10 Quenying, and 3 cage-level. Everyone's heart was heavy, more than half of the dead ninjas in half a year, and even Zunying died a lot. Don't look at the 10 people in Zunying now, it seems that there are only 2 less than half a year ago, but Dong Shenyao knows that this is because in the past 6 months, after fierce battles, some people have broken through to this level. In the past 6 months, the number of quasi-shadows who died in the camp definitely exceeded 2 people, as did other Jonins and elite Jonins. Many of the current numbers were broken in the past 6 months. Although the battle is very tragic, it is also beneficial, that is, having experienced the battle of life and death will make the ninja's strength improve more quickly, but the speed of death is also very fast. It's only been half a year, we have lost so much, and we don't know how long this war will last. If it continues, I'm afraid we will all have to die here, so I decided to retreat. Retreat. Everyone was taken aback when they heard Sarutobi's words. Commander, where are we retreating to? A ninja asked. Retreat to the northern fortress and use the fortress to block Iwagakure's attack. Sarutobi Hiruzen replied. What about after that? Iwagakure village is strong now, how long can we hold on even with the fortress? Yoshikawa Jiro asked. Compared with before, Tashinyao found that Yoshikawa Jiro had aged a lot in the past 6 months, and even one eye was missing. Why did Sarutobi retreat? It's a big deal to fight with them. If the fish die and the net is broken, I don't believe they can't die. Silver Tiger growled. I also wanted to fight with Iwagakure, but couldn't. Because we still have to protect the village, protect the land of fire. If we all die, who can stop Iwagakure? There is not much power in the village now, but I listened to saying that someone found the trail of Kurigakure village along the coast in the past month or so. They are not alone anymore. Sarutobi Hiruzen said in a heavy tone. Everyone was silent, and they also realized Sarutobi Hiruzen's inner entanglement. Obviously, he was not willing to retreat, but in order to protect the country and the village, Sarutobi Hiruzen could only do so. Commander, it's okay to retreat, but there's no way to go on like this. You have to find a way to defeat Iwagakure. Yoshikawa Jiro reminded. I know, but it's not that easy to defeat Iwagakure. Although Iwagakure has only sent 3 cage-level players, their Tsuchikage is so strong that one person is as good as the 2 of us. Sarutobi said helplessly. Why don't we invite Mito-sama out? With Mito-sama's strength, we will definitely be able to deal with Tsuchikage. A quasi-cage suggested. No, Sarutobi Hiruzen directly shook his head and rejected. Although Mito-sama is powerful, after all, she has lived in seclusion for so many years. Don't disturb her old man unless it is absolutely necessary. Commander, I do have a plan. At this moment, Dong Shenyao suddenly stood up. Open black lens bracket XCLLPL close black lens bracket. Chapter 299 Goal, The Land of Water. What are your plans, Tashinyao? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Tashinyao with anticipation. My plan is very simple, that is to frame the blame, and watch the tiger fight across the mountain. Dong Shenyao said with a smile on his face. Planned and framed the blame. Watching tigers fight across the mountain. Everyone was stunned when they heard the words, not understanding what Dong Shenyao was going to do. Dong Shenyao, I don't know how you are going to frame the blame. How do you watch tigers fight across the mountain? Nara Jawei asked curiously. Dong Shenyao smiled slightly, and said with a confident look on his chest, the commander said before, and now Kurigakure village is about to move. If that's the case, why don't we let Kurigakure village and Iwagakure village feud, or even fight? Nara Jawei frowned slightly when he heard the words. Dong Shenyao, your plan is good, but it's too difficult to implement. Neither Kurigakure village nor Iwagakure village are fools, how could they fight for no reason? It's not possible for no reason, so it needs to be framed and blamed. You said that if an important person in Kurigakure village died, and the murderer was someone from Iwagakure village, what would happen in the end? Dong Shenyao smiled wickedly at this time. It's a really good idea, but it's hard to really realize it. Nara-ji sighed slightly. He also had to admit that the plan proposed by Dong Shenyao was very good, but he did not think this plan could be realized. And Sarutobi Hiruzen put away the smile on his face after hearing Nara Jawei's evaluation. In his opinion, even the extremely intelligent Nara Jawei can't do anything. Dong Shenyao is even more impossible, and the others they also showed disappointment. Consultant Nara, you are right, this plan is indeed difficult, but I believe more in one sentence, that is, it is human. Now this thing has not been done, how can we give up? As long as there is a slight possibility, we will try. Anyway, even if this plan fails, it's nothing. On the other hand, if it can be successful, then our Konoha village will have the hope of turning defeat into victory. Hearing Dong Shenyao's words, Nara Jawei's face showed a hint of shame. I'm not as good as you, Dong Shenyao. You're right, it's a human effort. Now our Konoha village is at a critical juncture, and we will do it whenever there is a chance. Commander, I agree with Dong Shenyao's plan. How about you? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the others. We don't have any opinions either. Everyone has already reached this point, and of course everyone will not object. Anyway, as Dong Shenyao said, there is nothing to lose if you fail. Okay, then this matter is settled. Speaking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Dong Shenyao and said, East Shenyao, since you propose this plan, I will leave it to you to implement it. Agree. No problem. Dong Shenyao agreed directly. Even if Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't say it, he would take the initiative, because only he had some possibility to complete this plan. I'll leave everything to you. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood up suddenly and bowed to Tashinyao. Please, Dongshin-kun. Seeing this, the others quickly got up and bowed to Dongshin-yao. What are you doing? Dong Shenyao dodged with some sincerity. I'm a member of Konoha village anyway, so what's the point of doing such a thing for the village? Even if I go up the mountain of knives or go down to the sea of fire, my Dong Shenyao will never frown. At this time, Dong Shenyao, what he said is called a righteous and awe-inspiring, and his status in the hearts of everyone suddenly changed. Now Dong Shenyao is the hero of Konoha in their eyes. After all, it is not an easy task to frame the blame, and if it is not done well, it will cost you your life. East Shenyao, you are a valuable force in my Konoha village, so I hope you can return safely. Sarutobi Hiruzen said solemnly. Commander, I will promise on completing the mission. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked complicated when he heard the words. He didn't know what to say. Although he couldn't bear to sacrifice Tashinyao, once the plan was successful, the benefits would be huge, so Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't know for a while whether to let Tashinyao save his life or the mission. In the end he could only sigh and say no more. Everyone, I'm leaving first, you wait for my news. After speaking, Dong Shenyao turned around and left the tent regardless of whether the meeting was over or not. Although this plan was proposed by Dong Shenyao, but it was also his temporary idea. Now he has to go back and think about it, and improve this plan. Dong Shenyao, go all the way. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't care about Dong Shenyao's rudeness, but quietly watched his leaving back with admiration in his eyes. Dong Shenyao didn't care about the retreat anymore. After he left the tent, he left the camp and went back to the town. Next, he is going to travel far, so naturally he has to explain some things. In fact, Tashinyao is also a little helpless. The reason why he proposed such a plan today is to make Konoha village win, but really speaking, it is still for the mission. At the beginning, Tashinyao took over a war mission, that is, let Konoha village win the victory of the Ninja World War. Now that Konoha village is on the verge of being defeated, Tashinyao certainly can't allow it, so he knows what he has to do. At this time, Dong Shenyao wanted to understand why this quest was S rank. After all, according to the original work, the final winner of this ninja war is Konoha. Even if Dong Shenyao does nothing, it will be fine, which is somewhat inconsistent with the difficulty of the S-level task. Only then did Dong Shenyao realize that this mission was a trap. This is a real world, not an anime, and there are mysterious systems, so anything is possible. Dong Shenyao has no doubt that if he does nothing, then Konoha must be the one who will fail in the end, because the system is not 2.1 that will not let him complete an S-rank mission so easily. Hey, I am the life of toil. Dong Shenyao sighed helplessly. When Kudo-jun and the others saw Dong Shenyao coming back, they were a little surprised. Captain, how did you come back so quickly? Because I'm going to carry out a mission. Dong Shenyao said solemnly. What mission? Dong Shenyao didn't hide it either, and repeated the mission. That's it, now I'm going to the land of water and try to make them fight with the land of earth. This is too dangerous, Kimura Fumino exclaimed. There's no way out. If it doesn't, Konoha village will probably be defeated. Dong Shenyao said helplessly. Thank you 532,381,988 for the monthly ticket support. Chapter 300 Jinten Particle Style. At this time, everyone in the Dark Blade looked at Dong Shenyao with admiration, and there was even a mixture of worship. Originally, with Dong Shenyao's ability to withstand cage-level powerhouses, even if Konoha village was defeated, he still had a great hope of surviving. After all, even if Konoha village is defeated, with the village's background, Iwagakure village and Sunagakure village do not have the strength to completely destroy Konoha, and at most it is just occupying some resources of the Fire Nation. But now Tashinyao is willing to take risks to do such a dangerous task for the sake of the village, which is worthy of the admiration of all Konoha ninjas. After I leave, I'm afraid it won't be long before the large army retreats. Just follow the commander's orders. And be careful when I'm not around. Well, we know, but Captain, you must be careful when you go to the country of water. It's best to come back safely. I will try my best to be safe. After speaking, Dong Shenyao turned and left. At this time, the situation in Konoha village was critical, so Dong Shenyao flew at full speed and rushed towards the land of water. Don't stop along the way, just eat and exchange military pills from the system when you are hungry. The products produced by the system must be high-quality products. Originally, Bingliang pills had side effects, but the exchange in the system was different. Although the taste 15 was also not very delicious, it did not have the slightest side effects. Finally, 2 days later, Dong Shenyao traversed the country of fire and came to the coastal area of the country of fire. The land of water is isolated overseas. It consists of islands and has little connection with the mainland. Even in Konoha village, there is not much information about the land of water. Therefore, although Dong Shenyao has read the original Hokage book, it does not count. I know the country of water very well, especially now that there are still decades before the original work. The people who Dong Shenyao is familiar with have basically not been born yet. The only thing that Dong Shenyao knows now is that the person in charge of Kurigakure village should be the second generation of Mizukage Ghost Lantern Magic Moon. As for the rest, Dong Shenyao doesn't know much about it. There are 2 reasons why Dong Shenyao chose to come here instead of the Land of Thunder. One is that Kumogakure village has just experienced a turmoil, and I am afraid it will not be easy to go to war with Iwagakure village. The other is because of the information in the original work. In the original work, the second generation Tsuchikage and the second generation Mizukage perished together, so Dong Shenyao will now set his goal on the land of water. It's best to bring out the second generation Mizukage and let him fight with the second generation Tsuchikage. Dong Shenyao thought to himself. As for how to frame the blame, Dong Shenyao has already thought about it. The general method is definitely useless, and Kurigakure village is not stupid. Even if Dong Shenyao uses the transformation technique to become a ninja in Iwagakure village, and then uses the weapons of Iwagakure village, it is useless, because it is framed and blamed. If you want to successfully blame Iwagakure village, you must reveal something that only Iwagakure village has. For example, flying. Currently only the second generation Tsuchikage of Iwagakure village and the future third generation Tsuchikage Onoki can fly without foreign objects. As for Dong Shenyao's ability to fly, not many people know about it. However, Dong Shenyao also knows that the ability to fly alone cannot completely blame the village of Iwagakure. If you really want to be foolproof, you have to rely on Jinten particle style. Jinten particle style belongs to bloodstain elimination, and is an escape technique that only Iwagakure village has. Once Dong Shenyao uses this, then Iwagakure village will not be able to wash it out even if he really jumps into the Yellow River. Others may not be able to use Jinten particle style, but Dong Shenyao is different. He who has the system can exchange Jinten particle style as long as he has God creation points. After arriving at the border of the country of fire, Dong Shenyao did not rush to go to sea to the country of water, but opened a cave and hid in it. It seems to be exchanged for Jinten particle style, but that's okay. Jinten particle style is powerful enough to kill with one hit. Today, Ninja World can't beat Jinten particle style hard. More. I don't think it's a waste to exchange Jinten particle style, Dong Shenyao. Jinten particle style's ability is to decompose all substances into molecular-sized objects. This is a surefire trick. Even if the cage-level powerhouse is hit, there is only one way to die. Of course, this is also relative. The stronger the user, the greater the power of Jinten particle style. And if the strength gap between the user and the attacked person is too large, then there is no way. For example, Onoki and Uchiha Madara in the original work have a huge gap in strength, so Onoki cannot decompose Susanoo using Jinten particle style. In Dong Shenyao's view, it's not that Jinten particle style is not strong, but that the difference in strength between the two is too great. If Onoki can reach the level of the class, it may not be able to break down Susano. General, Jinten particle style is still very strong. With Jinten particle style, Dongshenyao can be regarded as an extra trump card. It can be used at critical moments, and it may even kill cage-level powerhouses. After entering the cave, Dongshenyao directly sealed the cave, and then the soul entered the god-creating space. Jinten particle style belongs to the bloodstain, and soon Dongshenyao found Jinten particle style in the bloodstain exchange. Jinten particle style S-rank exchange items need to create a god point, 60,000. Quote. It actually needs 60,000 points of creation. Dongshenyao took a deep breath. Although he had already thought that Jinten particle style would not be cheap, he was still frightened, knowing that even Mangekyo Sharingan only needed 50,000 points of creation. Just a point. Of course, this does not mean that Mangekyo is not good. After all, Mangekyo has drawbacks. If it is used too many times, it will lead to blindness. Because of such terrible shortcomings, Mangekyo only needs 50,000 points. However, Jinten particle style is different. There is no such post-830 sequelae. At most, it consumes a lot of chakra when using it. Even with the amount of chakra possessed by a cage-level powerhouse, Jinten particle style cannot be used at will. However, the disadvantages do not hide the advantages, and the huge consumption brings huge power, so in general, it is still worth it. Although Jinten particle style is very expensive, but after biting Kiba, Dongshenyao decided to exchange it. Fortunately, I have gained a lot of magic points in the past 6 months, otherwise Jinten particle style would not be able to be exchanged. Of course, at this time, Dongshenyao was also a little fortunate that he was not in a hurry to upgrade Sharingan to Eternal Mangekyo level, otherwise he doesn't have that many god building points to exchange for Jinten particle style now. In the past 6 months, Dongshenyao has obtained a total of more than 30,000 god-making points, and with the original ones, now his god-making points have reached 80,000. After Dongshenyao confirmed the exchange for Jinten particle style, a golden light suddenly shone down, and Dongshenyao began to accept the transformation again. The pain that made people want to die came again, and Dongshenyao could only bite Kiba and persist. After 5 minutes, the golden light disappeared, and the pain on Dongshenyao's body disappeared. After resting for a while, Dongshenyao started to use Jinten particle style. Jinten particle style, split detachment of the primitive world technique.